Yeah, what a formation to start with. Nobody in the backfield with Luke Smith, and then he claps his hands, and all the receivers move into a formation. And now he brings Wintrick Williams the third into the backfield. It's a handoff counter, a couple big guys leading through him, and nice defense there by the Patriots. Gain of 2, we'll call it, and number 2, Nate Clemens, the wide receiver defensive back, comes in for the stop at 5'9", 180. So just underway here at Truman, a beautiful night, like I said. 76 degrees, just about 50% humidity, and 6-mile-per-hour wind out of the south. So a beautiful evening here. And yes, the sun will be an issue for Luke Smith in this offense early on, and then the sun will set, and we'll have the Friday night lights going for you. Luke Smith in the pistol set with Wintrick Williams shifting in the backfield, as well as up front Michael Quigley, the fullback. Another handoff to Williams, falls forward for another couple. And Devron Rivera, 6'3", 370, makes the tackle there at defensive tackle. And he's also a guy that stands out whenever you look out there at the field.
That's a large man.
He's a big human being for a high schooler. That young man is a junior, so 16, 17 years old, and holding down the fort at 370. Luke Smith once again with kind of a wingback up in front. Wintrick Williams, another handoff. This time around the left side, a flag flies. And yes, Nate is calling a hold here from the press box. Quincy Scott on the stop. And we get our first white hat appearance of the evening. 10:33 here to go, and it is a hold. It's going to come back, which is going to really, it's going to force a third down and long, an early test here for this Liberty offense. Kind of exciting to see. Clearly, you said in the pregame, a talented team, and going against Truman, who's had a tough go and obviously a tough schedule. This, could be a big third down starting off.
Yeah, and I'm looking across the way. I really, really like the down marker.
Yeah.
It's digital. I love it. I can actually see,
it does. It stands out.
It is outstanding.
Yeah, and so for those of you joining us online, it is illuminated over there. You have 10 yards. You can actually see the down and the distance from the first down and the marker where the ball is actually at. So we have that stacked formation again for Liberty. Nobody in the backfield. Now Wintrick Williams pulls in with him. Shifts in motion behind Smith. Smith takes a snap. 3-step drop. Flushed out of the pocket. Rolls right. Finds his receiver Quigley. Quigley dives across, and I believe he'll have that first down depending upon the spot. Michael Quigley, the 200-pound listed at fullback, with the first down. That will move the chains.
It's funny, I said Luke Smith, not a mobile quarterback, and as soon as I say that, just 3 plays into the game, he rolls out to his right, completes a pass for a first down.
And really, hats off to Truman there as Quincy Potts got in there to kind of stir the pot, if you will. And then also Mylan Townsend, as Coach Pugh said, he's one of the difference makers here on this defense. So first down and 10, just on the Truman side of the field at the 49. Luke Smith, 3-step drop again. Flushed in and sacked. That is Quincy Potts coming in, the junior, 6 foot, 200 pounds, coming in with the sack. And it's going to force another second down and long. Beautiful penetration there by that defensive line, and they're clearly kind of taking advantage of Liberty here early on. A lot of big kids on that Truman defensive line to get in there for the sack, as we're just underway at 9:52 here to go, and second down and 12 for the Blue Jays of Liberty.
If I'm Liberty, I'd really not try to go inside. I'd really try to stretch this defense out with some more outside zone type plays with your dynamic running back, Wintrick Williams the third.
And so you have Smith taking the snap, a little lateral over to Wintrick Williams, and another good play. Number 12, Quincy Scott out there, the junior, the cornerback, and honestly, minimal game. We'll call it 1 yard back to midfield, but Wintrick Williams held in contain right now. But Liberty, you can tell, they're the type of team that they're just waiting for their big play. And, they've gotten a lot of those out of Michael Book, got a couple of those, and then Blake Fordyce, a couple of names to keep an eye out for tonight. As Liberty likes to start with this stack formation so people can't get a read on them and then clap them into an actual formation. So Wintrick Williams from the bottom of your screen up to the left of Luke Smith. Trips over to the right, belt high snap, little 2-step drop, over the middle, and the jersey pulled, no flag thrown. That was intended for Caleb Cahill, And that'll bring up 4th down and 11 from the 50-yard line. And it looks like they're going to send the punting unit on for Liberty. We have Ethan Brown is the kicker, or the punter, I should say. And long snapper going to be Michael Quigley, the fullback. So early on, 8:41. It's a scoreless game so far. And then back deep to return is Nate Clemens, the 5'9", 180-pound wide receiver. You'll see him on the Truman offense. So good snap, a little rugby-style kick. Thought about the fake and then punts it away, lets the coverage get down there. And Clemens just hovering around. Sorry, that was not Clemens, that was Chris Rhodes back to return, but a good punt. A solid net of 40 yards from midfield down to the 10, and that's where we'll see Carter Brown and the Truman offense take over. What do you like out of the Truman offense, Nate?
Truman's offensively, they've struggled to move the football. I think I had right around 150 yards of offense first week, and I mean that's against an outstanding Staley defense. So I mean, not really sure what to expect. I think, like I said, I think they'll move the football a little bit more than they have the first couple weeks this week against Liberty. It's just a matter of seeing if they can get into the end zone.
And so Dimitri Smith will stand to the left of Carter Brown. Carter Brown jumps off the tape as a scrambling quarterback. We'll see what he does here. A little pump fake, looking deep, and then just throws it out of bounds, intended for Nate Clemens. Kind of a busted play. They wanted to go for it all early. And out there in coverage, Michael Book, as well as Carol Simpson, I should say. Sorry about that. It's not Karen, Carol. And so, 2nd down and 10 from their own 10-yard line and backed up. It's a tough position to be in, right?
Yeah, that's, I mean, one mistake and it's 2-0 or 6-0 the other way. But I do like that first play there, the pump fake on the screen and try to hit the deep ball, but they did not bite on the pump.
Definitely aggressive. Carter Brown this time, a little play action looking for Nate Clemens again, and he had it, really. Hit him right in the right paw. And incomplete. So far, 2 passes, 0 for 2 for Carter Brown. And this is kind of where the scrambling ability of Carter Brown can come in, where you can send your receivers deep and he can scramble for the first down.
His scrambling ability is going to be huge in this game, but that was an outstanding throw.
It was a good throw.
It's just Clemens has to hang on to that football, and that's first down even more. Clemens is quick.
Yeah, and you can notice, they are getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and they do not want a sack and a safety here. So 3rd down and 10 early here in the first quarter, 8:21 to go. Carter Brown, play action, flag flies, rolling right. Brown still going, throws it to the sideline and out of bounds, intended for Chris Rhodes, but we'll see what the flag is.
I think it's going to be a legal shift. Had 2 guys moving in motion at one time. Neither of them came set.
Okay,
so
that's what Nate's calling, and we'll see. I'm sure he's right. Indeed, it is illegal shift. So that'll move him back 5. Great call. This is the first time I've gotten to work with Nate, and he's spot on already.
2 for 2.
Yeah,
that's about the best I'm going to do all year.
So they will decline the penalty, and they will force Truman to punt it away. And this is kind of where Wintrick Williams, who's back there deep to return, can do some damage. He's standing at the 40-yard line of Truman. Right, but Ryan Olivas back. Can't quite tell. The 0 and the 8 look very similar on Liberty, so we'll tell you as soon as he catches the football. Quincy Scott back to punt. The left-footed punter. Pretty nice knuckleball away, and it will take a Truman bounce. That was Olivas, and it will go out of bounds at the 41-yard line. And that is where Luke Scott and this offense will come back out and give a try for number 2. 8:04 here to go in the opening quarter, and it's 0-0 here at Truman High School. Another beautiful, you can't say it enough, there are trees on the other side, and you can see it on the screen here. Just an orange, beautiful golden hour, and what a night to play some football. There's no rain, there's no wind, there's no snow, Nate. You can't say that often.
It's September 13th, and typically we get 2 or 3 weeks that it is hot.
Yeah, that's true.
And last week it was warm, but this week it is absolutely amazing.
So Luke Smith out of the shotgun, hands it off to Williams. Williams around the right side, picks up about 6 before he's finally tripped up there by Mylan Townsend.
Truman ran a kid on very, very late, and he nearly got in the backfield and made a tackle. He had enough momentum going forward. He busted right through that line.
And that was Sterling Trawick that had to sprint onto the field. And yes, he did almost go and make the play. Now we'll set up a 2nd down and 3. They'll give him 7 yards on that pickup for Wintrick Williams III, the sophomore. And they will do the shift again from the double stack formation. Williams standing back right, and he'll get the ball around the pulling guard, and he's got a lot of room. And tripped up and pulled down now by number 17. That's Drake Hawley. Thought that was A.J. Geitzen there on the tackle, but instead he broke it, and there's a flag down.
Got a little yellow down. I didn't see this one, so I'm not even going to make a
So he's not going to taint the record of 2 and 2. It's a 16-yard gain. So we will wait the arrival of the call. Sideline warning on the defense. So, everybody back up down there on the Truman sideline, and it will be 16-yard gain for Wintrick Williams. We've seen a lot of Wintrick Williams, and I think, like we said in the pregame, you will see a lot of Williams III here as we go on throughout the game. 7:17 here to go in the opening quarter, and we're scoreless here at Truman.
It's going to be a steady dose of Wintrick Williams with a little bit of Luke Smith mixed in there with some throws to his top receivers.
So Michael Quigley goes in front, the fullback, kind of goes into the wing formation. Play action, sets this up out into the flat to Quigley. Quigley out on the edge and upended there by Chris Rhodes on the outside, but good for another 10.5-yard gain and another 1st down for Liberty.
He's completed 2 passes so far, and both of them to Michael Quigley.
And I would say both well designed. I mean, that time, little play action, right?
Yeah, very good idea. Get the defense playing Wintrick Williams.
And that'll pretty much be the secret sauce for them tonight, like Nate said. So a little play action does help, and then eventually you're able to take the top off the defense. Smith, belt tie snap, flushed out of the pocket, and throws it away. That one there, Mylan Townsend coming in, one of the standouts from head coach Charles Pugh. He just said he's a guy that, he brings the intensity on the defense, on the defensive line, and, he's a pretty imposing figure at defensive end and been able to, kind of rush Luke Smith pretty well so far here in this opening quarter.
He came through unblocked on that play. I don't know whether that was by design or what, but Luke Smith had to get rid of the football awfully quick.
And it seems to be where there's a lot of, to be fair, there's a lot of big kids on that Truman defensive line. So Liberty, this is a pretty good test as far as, their size against, some pretty big kids. There was that hard clap that the Blue Jays have gone to a few times here, in fact, just about every play, to kind of shift the motion. And that time able to get, just as we were giving him some praise, Mylan Townsend to jump offside. So 5 yards, 2nd down and 5 here, 6:29 here to go in the first quarter. So Smith rolls away, and it's a screen, and it's a beautiful screen. Williams across the 5, touchdown, Liberty, and that's a beautiful screen. It looked like 4 Truman guys were right in his face, and then it turned out to be a screen for the touchdown.
Perfectly well designed. Truman did not defend it very well, and Wintrick Williams waltzed his way in untouched.
And a beautiful drive put together by Liberty. Obviously, defense turned into offense here as they were able to get the 3 and out by Truman, and then from 23 yards out, that was a beautiful play. The screen to Wintrick Williams III, and another touchdown. The extra point is up and good. Number 92, Alec Rakajab, there for the extra point. And so we're at 7-0 here in the opening quarter. 6:22 here to go. Jonathan Pulaski and Nate Kendall here joining you on 810varsity.com and over on the 810 Varsity YouTube page. And we're going to get to a break, and we'll be back. Truman offense back on the field after this.
Whether it be auto, home, life, umbrella, small business, or specialty coverages, Jeff Watt of Farmers Insurance looks forward to helping you make a wise decision for your future. Jeff's been a long-time resident of Liberty and is happy to answer any questions you might have. give Jeff a call at
So, yeah,
816-792-1415.
anytime we can get to a break,
Or visit
we'll take one.
farmersagent.com/jwatt. Jeff Watt of Farmers Insurance, a proud supporter of the Liberty community and athletics.
And we are back.
Welcome back to Truman High School. 7-0 Liberty, number 15 in the 8-10 varsity top 25. And able to get on the board here just about halfway through the first quarter. Beautiful screen pass to Wintrick Williams III, the sophomore running back, showing off and showing out. Alec Rockajab to kick it off for Liberty, wearing their fresh blue helmets and the silver feathers along the side. It's a little pooch kick, and the ball will take a bounce, and then be fielded there by Quincy Scott. And Scott takes it up around the 27, and there is another flag down on the play. So that will move Truman back, a little holding on the return. So that will take it from the 27 back to the 17. And so far, Truman just kind of not necessarily shooting themselves in the foot, but, putting a tough situation on the first drive, and then now going from the 27 to the 17. A little tough gig so far here for Carter Brown and this offense.
And now we'll see how they respond to the touchdown they allowed. And
now the referee's
water
taking a
break.
timeout. Yeah.
Let's see if we got any updates on the 810 varsity scoreboard. If you want to check it out on the scoreboard at 810varsity.com. Missouri, no score updates as of yet. We've got some finals from games that played last night and finished up early today. Gardner Edgerton 34, Olathe West 7. Blue Valley, all over Blue Valley North, 34-7. Lawrence beat Shawnee Mission East 30-7, and Shawnee Mission Northwest with a 43-14 victory over Leavenworth. St. James leads Mill Valley 7-0. St. Thomas Aquinas also on 810varsity.com 7-0 early on in that ball game.
So there's some scores from around the area. Check it out, 810varsity.com for the 810 varsity scoreboard. So far, Wintrick Williams, 52 yards from scrimmage, 5 carries and 1 reception, and 1 touchdown. Luke Smith, 3 of 5, 40 yards, and that touchdown on the screen. So Truman back out there on offense. Carter Brown right behind that Ball State commit, and it will hand off the first time on a handoff, and will pretty much go nowhere. 2-yard gain. That's Nate Clemens on the carry, listed as a wide receiver, but will take some snaps at running back.
He's what they're calling an athlete.
Yeah, an athlete.
One of those that you see everywhere, those 5-star athlete guys.
Yeah, all those guys that, you see the
good
top 100 in the country, and there's a lot of them that are just athletes.
It's like,
that's what they're listed as.
I'm good at more than one position. I'm like, I wish I could have been good at one position.
At one position, yeah. The rest of the world wishes they could be better at one position than you are at multiple. So Aaron Porter, that guy snapping him the football. And a timeout on the field, and that is going to be Truman timeout, so we'll take a timeout with them. It's 5:35 left in the first quarter. Truman here on offense for the second time, trying to get back and trying to get on the scoreboard. It's 7-0 Liberty, and we'll be right back after this short message.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982, or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Bingo.
Welcome back to Truman High School. 7-0 Liberty here at the home of the Patriots. Patriots trying to get a touchdown on the board. It feels like they've had 3 points in their first week and then 6 points on their second week, so it'd be nice to get a home touchdown here for them as Carter Brown stands at his own 15. Aaron Porter, belt high snap to him, rolls right, looking right, Flag flies, and there's the scrambling and the mobility up around the 42. He dragged out of bounds. Unfortunately, it will be a holding call. Michael Book there on the stop, but yeah, it certainly looked like as he scrambled, it will be a hold. That will take him all the way back to the 10-yard line. So what's been a good
play, very productive.
And to be fair, Carter Brown kind of showing off his skills and what he truly, he's a good quarterback, but his mobility is kind of what's scary. And there, picks up 22 yards, and instead it's going to be a minus 10 because of the flag.
And everything I read, four-sport athlete, captain, very athletic. He's got to be going to play somewhere in some sport. He's got to be headed that direction.
Sure. Well, that's the thing. Whenever there's kids that play multiple sports, I know a lot of college coaches allude to this. Whenever you have a quarterback that plays multiple sports, that's really desirable at the next level, whether it be in baseball, basketball, football. They're just a born leader, and clearly at quarterback, Carter Brown, I would imagine, would get some looks even from JUCOs.
That's kind of the trend now. If you look at some of the better quarterbacks now in the NFL, I've talked about our local guy, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. He was a baseball player.
Yeah.
And a basketball player.
Yeah.
He did it all in high school and went to Texas Tech to play baseball as well as play quarterback.
Yeah, you see a lot of them. Jameis Winston played baseball at Florida State as well. And there's good penetration there by that Liberty defense coming out of that pile. Is 38 Drake Smith there on the tackle. That's going to bring up a third down in what seems like forever for this offense. 19 yards to go. What do you pull out here? Screen?
I'd say 4 verts and Carter Brown.
Go for it.
See what you can do.
Work your magic.
Use your
Fair
feet,
enough.
Throw it deep, whatever feels right at that point.
So really the big thing is avoiding a turnover is the biggest thing. You do not want to toss it up to Michael Book, who's a two-way player. And Liberty said they were going to show us some 3 high safety looks, and sure enough, here it is on 3rd and 19. Another flag flies, and just great defense. Liberty all over it there on the far side. That's number 26, A.J. Mortina on the stop, and just nowhere to go. Regardless of the flag, if it's on Truman, it's going to be declined, and it'll be a punt.
Illegal shift.
Another illegal shift here for Truman, and it will be declined. And it will be 4th down, and this is further back than they were last time. They were at their 10 whenever they punted last time. This time, it's going to have to be Quincy Scott being really careful. He's going to be in his own end zone. And clearly, you're not thinking fake. You're thinking just get it off my foot. So once again, the return man for Liberty standing at his own the Truman 39-yard line. And that is Ryan Olivas. A good long snap, and the kick is away. Another knuckleball towards the Liberty sideline, and that's not going to be good. It almost got to the first down marker. They're going to call it out at the 24-yard line.
And there's a flag there on the
another flag down.
Too.
Any legal motions to call?
They're just not getting set on offense, and that's what's hurting them already. They have no net yards as of right now, and really it's backwards.
Yeah, it truly is been backwards so far for Truman, and right now it's Liberty's looking at their own at the Truman 29-yard line, looking for another score here. 4:26 to go here in the first quarter. Liberty already leads 7-0, and there's. Yeah, through the stat sheet, there's really nothing so far for Truman, rushing or passing. So Luke Smith goes back to the helm with his toes on the 34-yard line. Chest high snap, hands off to Wendrick Williams. Williams up the middle, and he'll bust forward for another 7. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 3. And this Liberty offensive line's done a pretty good job, considering in the running game, I suppose.
You look at the size of that defensive line.
Yeah.
And, having Williams be able to run fairly effectively, I'd say probably 4 or 5 yards a pop. It's going to be big, but that D-line's going to start wearing down the longer they're on the field.
Yeah, a lot of plays so far for this Truman defense. Smith ready to take the snap, and the far, line judge throws the flag. Offsides on the defense. Another penalty so far for Truman. It's been pretty tough so far for them. They just can't get a lot to go in their favor. So it will be a first down. It's right at the first down marker. Essentially picked up 5. And then they're giving him the first down. So first down and 10 from the 19. 3:50 here to go in the first quarter. Luke Smith, so far pretty flawless. 3 or 5, 40 yards and a touchdown. This time looking deep to the corner. Open, incomplete. That time Michael Book had his own way. Guarded out there by a couple of Truman Patriots. I almost said Pirates again. I don't know why. Patriots. And Quincy Scott out there in coverage. And really pretty solid throw. I'd say Book pretty much had it in his hands.
Good throw, but I got to give him props on the coverage. It was pretty good coverage out there by Quincy Scott.
So Scott doing a pretty good job on Book, who's been pretty explosive. Had a touchdown against Lee Summit a few weeks back. So a handoff to Wintrick Williams this time. Fights forward for maybe 3 feet, which is a yard. 3:27 here to go, and it's going to bring up third down. And you could consider it a win if Truman can keep them to 3 points here. Obviously I don't know the status of the kicker for Liberty, but to keep them to 3 here would be pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, you would feel pretty good going into possibly another drive, but I mean, you're waiting for when they set up in this formation. When are they going to decide to run a play out of
Yeah, just run a play. Yeah, a pure QB draw or some sort of screen. Absolutely. So they clap out of that stack formation. Smith into the pocket. Beautiful pocket. Goes to the corner. Diving for it. Incomplete. That one was to Caleb Cahill and incomplete. So fourth down as Liberty is forced into either a fourth down conversion or a field goal attempt.
It's going to be a field goal, it looks like.
So it's Alex Rocketjob from 35 yards out. He stands at the 28-yard line.
Here comes somebody extremely late.
Yeah, some late Blue Jay onto the field. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. Alex Rocketjob, nice three-pointer there. 35-yard field goal is good. Liberty leads 10-0. 10:49 here to go in the first quarter, and whenever we come back on the other side, we will have Carter Brown trying to get the Truman Patriots offense going. You're watching high school football on 810varsity.com and 810 Varsity YouTube page. We'll be back after this. Pretty good kick.
Oh, yeah.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
It's 10-0 Liberty, the number 15 team in the 810 Varsity Top 25. Showing off here on the road so far. Not too great. Luke Smith, 3 of 7, 40 yards in the touchdown. Wintrick Williams, 7 carries, 38 yards. And that receiving touchdown on the 20-yard screen pass. But that 35-yard field goal by Alex Rocketjob. That caps off a 6-play drive. Only gained 11 yards, and a few of that was on a penalty. So another kickoff, a pooch kick by Rocketjob, and it's going to bounce. Another bounce, and going to be picked up there. Quincy Scott gets tackled down inside the 20. And so I've seen this at the NFL level, too, and I'm sure you have. I think of the Patriots in this particular way, where they will kick it short intentionally to try and pin the guys back, and clearly it's working so far for Liberty.
Yeah, the Patriots have done it fairly well. The Chiefs were doing it actually late last year, and the Chiefs have one of the better special teams coordinators in the NFL, and they were kicking it short and pinning teams inside the 20.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. You'll see it kind of implemented in high school and college football as well. The thing is they want to eliminate the kickoff. Well, if you want to eliminate the kickoff, they're just going to try and pin the team back even further. So we'll let the rules committees figure that one out. But for now, it's Truman back on offense. This time a handoff. It is Demetri Smith around the right side, fighting off a few Blue Jays. And he fought hard for about 2 feet, is what we'll call it. Not even a yard on that. Nate Clemens, the leading rusher, 1 carry, 3 yards. That's all the offense right now for Truman. So they'll give him a yard. They'll be generous there for Demetri Smith, the 5'10", 175-pound junior in the backfield. So what do you do? You're the offensive coordinator, you're head coach for Truman. What do you get going for this offense?
I want the ball in the hands of your playmaker, which is Carter Brown, and start looking for Nate Clemens, look for just anybody really. Chris Rhodes out wide, and they're going to have to burn a timeout too as the play clock ran out.
So play clock runs out, and we'll take a timeout with Truman. It is 10-0 Liberty, 1:57 here to go in the first quarter, and we will be back on 810varsity.com and 810varsity YouTube after this.
Jeez.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment.
Well designed.
To have this opportunity to come together
keep
as a
stringing
team.
it out. You get a yard.
Everyone knows KC is on the rise. But what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community Americas, powering the rise of Kansas City.
Yeah, my chairs. It's short. They gave me one of those.
So Truman has to burn their second timeout here in the first quarter, so they'll only have one for the rest of the half. 1:57 here to go in the opening quarter. And Truman, to be fair, for 3 yards of total offense and netting less than that, they're in the negatives based upon penalties. They're holding their own, only 10-0 here, number 15 team in the top 25 in Liberty. So another handoff. This is Demetri Smith up the middle and a whole host of Blue Jays. And then Michael Quigley comes away with it for the Blue Jays, but they said forward progress was stopped. They'll give him another yard, and they'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
This Liberty defensive line is standing pretty tall here early on in this ball game.
Yeah, Isaiah Hall's been pretty good down at the defensive tackle spot. A couple of guys, Jack Horn's in there as well, and then 52, Matthew Henning at one of the defensive ends. And then Quigley, obviously, the two-way player, the linebacker, and the fullback doing a pretty good job there. So 3rd down, and we'll call it 7. That's pretty generous. 1:09 here to go in the opening quarter. And Carter Brown steps up into the pocket, and he's rolling. 3 Blue Jays after him, and he scrambles. I believe he'll have enough for the first down. So a pickup of 9, we'll call it, up to the 30, and it should be good enough for a first down. And yes, it is. So how about that? The first offensive first down for Truman, starting to get a little bit of a drive going.
It was a really good idea. I couldn't really see downfield clearly, but Carter Brown clearly was like, okay, this is not going to work. We're going to have to go ahead and do this myself. And he picked up that first down, a solid run.
And Brown, you can see the athleticism. 4 guys coming after him for Liberty, and he, had the guts to, go ahead and get that first down before he stepped out of bounds. So 2 receiver to his right, and a little read option. Nice spin move up the middle. That's Demetri Smith. Wow, nice spin. Hit the B button, and then looks like another first down. But depending on the spot, so back-to-back plays, first downs for Truman.
It looked like Carter Brown even was like, I want to keep that. He's trying to pull it out of there at the last second, but
he did. It certainly did. I thought for a second that he had it. But instead, Demetri Smith took the read option up the middle, 10 yards. Good solid carry for them. And that will bring up another first down and 10 from their own 42-yard line. This Liberty defense in the 3 high safety look. It's really interesting. Nate, you got 3 guys out there at the top side. It really limits that passing game. So Carter Brown out of the shotgun. Another big hit there. That was Michael Quigley meeting Demetri Smith at the 48-yard line. What a hit there.
Yeah, that was a stick there by Quigley. Stepped up, and as soon as Smith hit the hole, he got hit.
Yeah, that was a big hit. And so Truman elects to take it to the second quarter. Liberty, a 10-point lead as we go to the second, and Carter Brown and this offense, Demetri Smith, a couple of good carries on the move and trying to get on the board here at home. 10-0 Liberty. We'll take a timeout here at the end of the first quarter, and we'll come back with second quarter action right after this on 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too,
Games
plus
around
top
here.
25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
So welcome back, 10-0 Liberty here at Truman High School, and we got to look at the 810 Varsity scoreboard here with Nate. Nate, what's going on around the area?
Blue Springs and Lee Summit North tied at 7 early on.
Okay.
That's a pretty big game here. Lee Summit North having beat Blue Springs last year.
Yep.
Kind of a big matchup there. Lee Summit West 10, Blue Springs South 7. Park Hill South leads St. Joe Central 14-0.
Okay. So that's a look at your 810 Varsity scoreboard. Always can find that at 810varsity.com, as well as the top 25 updated weekly.
Top 60 this week.
I looked at it. I was like, wow, we got 60 teams on there. It is the 810 top 60, but it's not as catchy. So Carter Brown back at it. A little play action fake rolling to his right. Now going right to left on your screen. And a nice hitch pattern over there. Can't quite see who caught that football. That's Chris Rhodes. Rhodes catches that ball, but it's going to bring up a third down. They call that incomplete. I could have sworn that he caught that football, Nate.
He must have had a foot out or something if I had to take a guess.
And it got the PA announcer here, too, at Truman. Certainly thought that was complete. Instead,
saw no signal.
Yeah, it didn't look like that far line judge was giving an incomplete. Little does he know, we were sitting in here with the guy that's watching him tonight. So 5 down on the play clock. Truman's got to get set and get the snap off under center. And it's a fullback pound up the middle. And is going to be close to a first down.
Mylan Townsend.
And that's, yeah, Mylan Townsend, that's a defensive end at 6'2", 250 getting the carry. I mean, that's well designed. It's kind of a fridge-looking play for them.
I mean, when you got a guy that size that's athletic enough to do it, why not? I mean,
yeah.
when you're struggling on offense, why don't you give the ball to number 74? Line him up at fullback.
And he got a full 5 yards. So they're going to bring out the very much improved yard markers here for a measurement. They're saying he might be a little bit short, but they're going to bring it out. Pretty impressive here. I don't know who exactly makes these illuminated yard markers, but it is pretty impressive. Them knowing that how far away one stick is from the other. It's pretty awesome. So they're going to measure this one out.
And I mean, they're trying to. He got the first down.
And it will be a first down for the Patriots. So the Mylan Townsend move does work. And for the first time tonight, Truman driving as well as in Liberty territory. They are working hard for this. So far, I mean, it's just been Liberty all day long, but, you know, a pretty good drive here by Truman. This is their 10th play coming up of the drive. And, you know, so far so good. It's been, I would say, pretty well done, not choppy. So not a lot of passing out of Carter Brown in the first quarter. He stands on his own side of the field, and it's a QB read. He pulls it, comes around, and a nice tackle there made by 38 Drake Smith, and a minimal gain, if just one.
Now, he cut more to the outside when like I said earlier, needs to keep going upfield.
Yeah.
You get a couple more yards there just by falling forward. Yeah, you're a shifty quarterback. You're a very athletic quarterback. But get as many yards as you can on a play. Don't lose yards just because you for trying to make a guy miss in the open field.
Fair enough. So Nate giving you the if you're watching online and you're a quarterback, do what he's saying. This time a handoff to Dimitri Smith. Smith gobbled up in the backfield. First guy there was 45 Jackson White. So Jackson White and this Liberty defense, they're pitching a shutout right now, and it's 3rd and 8 from the Liberty 46. Another Carter Brown run here, I would imagine.
Design throw, turn into a run, possibly pick up a first down. And I mean, I know it's early, but 4-down territory already. If you pick
Possibly.
up a good chunk of this, maybe you take a chance
and
go for it instead of punting the ball back to Liberty.
Yeah. I mean, you got it on their side of the field, you might as well go for it. So a little stack formation, almost pistol. This time Carter Brown rolls to his right and has his man for a first down. That's A.J. Gitson. Okay, fair enough. I before E's a tough rule. A.J. Geitzen there for the first down and another pickup. And, they're moving it. I mean, Nate here, 9:49 left in the first half. You might as well just run the clock out at this point. It's a 13-play drive.
Executing exactly what they want to do, keep the ball out of Luke Smith and Winterick Williams' hands. And, I mean, they're in scoring range, really, if you want to be honest. This is a good spot now, big spot, and it looks like, timeout.
Another play clock issue for Truman. They're just not getting the plays in fast enough. So it's 10-0 here in the second quarter, 9:49 here to go in the half. Truman driving on a 15-play drive, and we got an update here on the 810 Varsity scoreboard here from Nate.
We'll keep running down at Liberty North with an early 7-0 lead on Park Hill. Let's see, Fort Osage with a 7-6 lead on Belton. 0-0 between William Crispin and Oak Park. Raytown looking to take some frustration out this week after a stunning loss to Oak Park last week. They're up 15-0 early on over Ray South. Grain Valley and Smithville tied at 7. Platte County 7, Kearney nothing. Harrisonville and Blue Valley Northwest are tied at 0. Center leads 14-3 on Oak Grove. Odessa doing their normal, leading 27-0, and Pleasant Hill leads Richmond 14-0. And we'll get to the Kansas scoreboard here shortly with some looking at the scoreboard, some intriguing looking games on the Kansas side.
Okay, so we will update you on the Kansas side here at the next opportunity. For now, Dimitri Smith with a handoff and another great defensive play there, led by Jackson White again. And that's going to be, you don't want to say a drive killer, but that's -4 yards on a first down carry, Nate.
You take a timeout and you come out with that.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, especially with the first down, you got a good drive going. Obviously, you have to take the timeout. I don't know what you have to do to get the plays in faster, go to wristbands, stuff like that. It looks like some of them do have on wristbands, but not all of them. So 2nd down and 13 for Carter Brown in this offense of Truman. Takes a 3-step drop and just unloads it deep downfield. Has his receiver incomplete there for Chris Rhodes. Looks like he had him beat. But it is going to be 3rd down and 13. I don't dislike the go for it all ball there by Carter Brown.
Take a shot. You never know.
It's one of those kids out there on the outside with Chris Rhodes, 6'1", 165, I should say. Just a quick kid, the type of kid that can get on that vertical route and did have his guy beat. It was a pretty good ball as well, just out of the outstretched arms of Rhodes. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, 13 with 9:04 here to go in the first half.
He's just a junior.
He is just a junior.
Somebody that they'll look to lean on next year a little bit, I'd say.
So Brown takes a snap, rolls right, being chased, and overthrows his receiver, Chris Rhodes, once again. Certainly looked like he had him.
Just too much zip on the football so far tonight. That was yet another throw that he's made that has been just a little too hot to handle.
Well, now, to be fair, as a quarterback, rolling right, sprinting to your right, and then trying to put a good throw on it is pretty tough. So that drive, 18 plays and going to result in a punt. So 8:58 here to go. And that's unfortunate for them because they did have a pretty good drive going. But a 18-play drive shut down that took 5.5 minutes off the clock. Kept Liberty off the field. But still nothing to show for it, as Truman will have to punt it away. So this one's Quincy Scott, the left footer. A high bomb ball, fair catch, called for and made by Ryan Olivaz at the 12-yard line. So kind of right on that bubble zone of where you let it go, but the Truman coverage team did a pretty good job down there, making them have to make that fair catch.
Looks like a flag as well.
And it is on Truman. So another tough/frustrating penalty for Truman and head coach Charles Pugh. He seems pretty chill about it, though. A very imposing man. Went down there and shook his hand before the game, and he's pretty yoked. Not going to lie. He's just a big guy, but a nice guy. Gave me all the starters. So 8:52 here to go, and they're going to make Quincy Scott repunt this thing.
I'd make him do it again, yeah. I agree with this.
It was, a pretty good punt, to be fair. 12-yard line, not good enough for Liberty, so they said, well, re-kick it if you're not going to be set and get a penalty. Why not? Maybe you can get a return this time. So Scott, again, this time a lower punt. Line drive caught at the 10. Skirts around the 20, up around the 25, and spun down by Chris Rhodes. Ryan Olivaz with a 14-yard return that time, so the penalty does result in like a 13-yard difference for Truman, where they could have had him pinned at the 12, now at the 25 for Liberty.
Now I'll be interested to see how Liberty comes out. Haven't been out there offensively for a little while. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one thing.
Yeah, hand off, get re-warmed up, yeah. Absolutely. So Liberty back out there. We have Wintrick Williams at the top of your screen, kind of in that stack formation. They like to clap into a new formation. Don't give the defense any information. But Williams, as per usual, will go into the backfield. A new fullback there, Drake Smith, the senior, going to be up front. Give Quigley a little break from middle linebacker. A nice burst here from Wintrick Williams, the third. Spun down there by Drake Hawley. A pickup of 11 and a first down, and didn't look like a lot of rust there, Nate.
Nope. Wintrick Williams looks pretty normal there. Good run. Nearly broke that and took it the distance.
To be fair, this kid, already a good Liberty team, but he is a sophomore the next couple of years. He's going to be a guy that you could look out for, And
with Luke Smith returning.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. You got a couple of key players here for Liberty that are coming back. So, yeah, Luke Smith has another year. Fordyce is a senior. And Michael Book's also a senior, so some wide receiver help will be needed. But as of right now, you don't really need it, as Wintrick Williams, again, it's like a repeat. That time 12 yards up around midfield and another first down for Liberty.
Starting to see a little bit of probably a little bit of wear down on that defensive line. They're not jumping the gaps like they were early in the game and slowing Williams down.
And Coach Pugh said this before the game and in an email earlier in the week, 40 players on their roster. It's just tough compared to 84 on the roster for Liberty. So double the amount of players. This time Luke Smith's going to pull it down. He's got a lot of room. Across the 35 to the 30, 25-20, and dragged down at the 15-yard line. Good play.
I'll eat my words. Luke Smith,
pretty mobile there.
Showed some mobility. Looking at the stats, he'd had like 16 carries for minus 30 yards on the year. So I was just like, okay, he's going to stand in the pocket. No, they decided to go with a little bit of a quarterback draw.
And it worked out.
There.
It did work out. So a pickup there of 37 yards. So all the negative yardage Nate's talking about is now gone. And it's 1st and 10 from the 13. 7-11 here to go in the second quarter. So Wintrick Williams up the middle. Bounces back. Flag flies. And a good takedown there by Nate Clemens. We'll see what the flag is. And it will be a holding on the offense. So that will set them back A pretty big drive killer there, I guess you could say. A pretty smooth sailing drive so far. Kind of gets set back now by a hold.
I was even able to see that one being blocked by this nice wall in front of me. I'm tucked in here, just kind of trying to watch on the camera while I'm doing this.
Yeah, what we do for you guys, you don't see at home, but we have one window we're working out of, and that's where the camera's also at. So I'm working through a double window, and Nate's working through a wall and a camera and a computer set. So currently, Luke Smith standing at the Truman 28-yard line with Wintrick Williams behind him. Going to roll left. Got a couple receivers, out routes. Looks like it bounced off the turf, but said it was complete to Caleb Cahill for a pickup of 10 again. And honestly, I thought maybe that bounced in there.
That's what I thought too. It looked like it did skip in, but I mean, I'm not going to argue with the official that's standing 5 feet away from where that ball was caught.
True enough. So it will be a second down and 11 after the penalty. So they get back the penalty yardage. 6:23 here to go in the opening half, and it is 10-0. Liberty in driving, looking for more points. They're 1-1 on the year. They've had a couple of very tough opponents in here. Sandwich Truman, the only team not ranked in their first 5 weeks here. So stack formation, 2 on the right, 3 on the left, and that time they were going to run the play out of that stack formation.
It's like a delay a game. Yep.
Delay a game will set them back.
I'm seeing that more and more now that Missouri went to the 40-second play clock. As soon as the ball is set, clock runs. I'm seeing a lot more issues with it. Missouri and Kansas have both went to it. It's kind of
it's 25 seconds.
Yeah, like after incomplete passes, after plays, they set the ball, 40 seconds, start running. I'm seeing a lot more issues with it.
Yeah. And so the stack formation, 3 to the right and 2 to the left. Takes a snap. Luke Smith rolls. Good protection. Goes to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Liberty. A beautiful strike from the 18-yard line. That time, Caleb Cahill again, been the number 1 receiver for Liberty tonight. And a beautiful strike. Luke Smith finding Cahill for another touchdown, his second tossing touchdown of the evening to put Liberty up 16-0.
That's from 18 yards, you said?
Well, it's from the 18-yard line. So, yes. So there we go. A solid drive put together by Liberty after a long drive by Truman. The extra point is up and good by Alex Rockajov, and it's 17-0 Liberty. Here, 5:41 in the first half, and Liberty's pitching a shutout. We appreciate you guys once again, taking the time out of your Friday evening, joining us on 810varsity.com. Here in just a moment, we'll get an update on the Kansas side of things. As Missouri, we've kind of filled you in on. We will continue to fill you in on, but we will look at Kansas scores now as Nate refreshes here and then gives us a little update from the Kansas side of things.
St. James still leads Mill Valley 7-0. St. Thomas Aquinas putting it on Blue Valley Southwest 21-0. Bishop Miege in a dogfight tonight with Blue Valley West. 14-7 lead for Bishop Miege. Now Blue Valley Northwest with a 7-6 lead on Harrisonville. Free State with a 7-0 lead on Olathe East. Shawnee Mission North 8. Olathe North 7. So kind of an upset brewing there. Shawnee Mission West 14. Shawnee Mission South nothing. Baster Linwood 17. Lansing 7. DeSoto 42. Wyandotte nothing. Piper 29. Baldwin nothing. 14-14 Eudora and Bonner Springs. Paola leads Fort Scott 30-0, and Spring Hill with an 8-0 lead over Ottawa currently.
All right, so there's a look at your Kansas side of things on the 810 varsity scoreboard. Alex Rockajov has it teed up at the 40 from the right hash, kicking it back to Truman. Little pooch kick over to the right hash, and it is fielded this time and wrapped up and stuck into the ground is Zayna Kuna. The sophomore, 5'7", 160, fielded it. So a pretty good job just to hold on to the football, but then got absolutely stuck. So Carter Brown in this Truman Patriot offense will come back out and try another drive here. 5:37 to go and a little official timeout here. So we will take a timeout with them very quickly. You are watching high school football on 810varsity.com.
Core Civic is proud to support Lansing Athletics. Core Civic is America's leader in partnership corrections, operating over 60 facilities in nearly half of all states. Learn more about Core Civic job opportunities at corecivic.com. You can apply for a rewarding position as a correctional officer, a nurse, or a school teacher, just to name a few. Your next career could be in corrections with Core Civic. Visit corecivic.com. That's corecivic.com.
Ray Peck's beating Rockhurst, 6-3.
Yeah, whenever we come back, I'll say you got an upset alert possible.
Got a couple of them going tonight. Nice. I like that. Give us something to talk about if the game gets out of hand.
So we could have a couple of upset alerts happening here around the 810 varsity area. And we will get to those here in just a little bit as Truman returns to the field. A couple of big ones, so stay tuned for that. We will let you know maybe who could be in trouble tonight. Truman starting from the 26-yard line, and Carter Brown hands it off up the middle. A flag flies. Demetri Smith, a pickup of 7, and yeah, Nate is showing some sadness for this Truman offense. They get a good chunk play, and then another hold is going to be the call.
Oh, man. There's so much promise with this Truman Patriot offense, but I mean, they just have those little mistakes here and there, and it costs them. And that last drive, that's what cost them. Got a holding penalty up near midfield, and back they went, and they ended up having to punt the football away.
And that they did. It will be a first down, and we'll call it 18 yards based upon where the flag was thrown. So 5:31 here to go in the opening half. So far tonight, Carter Brown, 2 of 8, 11 yards, no scores. Demetri Smith, 7 carries, 14 yards. While on the other side, Luke Smith is 5 of 9, 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Wintrick Williams, the leading rusher, with 61 yards on 9 carries. Caleb Cahill, 2 receptions, 27 yards and a touchdown. This time they go back to Demetri Smith, and this time struck down by Nate Berry, the senior defensive end there, 6'3", 210. I mean, I could see what you're saying. It's just kind of one of those things. Truman is showing promise, but then, you know, whenever the flags fly, it's pretty tough to get back in front of the chains.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, they're struggling when you get behind the chains. We'll look at it at halftime, the penalty numbers, stuff like that, and how that all has worked out. But it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
If you're a Truman Patriot fan.
Yeah, plenty of flags flying tonight. As far as against Truman, I should say. So 2nd and 16. Another handoff to Smith, and just another absolute demolish in the backfield, led by Jackson White again. Liberty just, I mean, they want to pitch that shutout really badly tonight. It's going to force a 3rd down and very long. And to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of Carter Brown scrambles. I mean, we saw one that got called back by a penalty.
Yeah, that one in front of us for a first down on one of their better drives that they've had. But outside of that, they really haven't gone with a lot of the passing game.
Yeah, so 3rd down and 19 is what the chains on the far side say. From their own 17-yard line, we'll call it, Carter Brown out of the shotgun. 3-step drop, flushed out of the pocket, throws it across the middle, wide open, is caught by Nate Clemens, but Clemens, the bend don't break defense. Jackson White there again on the tackle. Bring up 4th down here with 3:30 to go here in the opening half.
I mean, when you got 3 safeties, you throw that underneath route for about 10 yards. I mean, it's going to have to take an amazing play if you're going to pick up that first down.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Liberty, like I said, bend don't break, but, you know, they said before the game they're kind of going to that 3 safety defense and some tight corners, you know, relying on that defensive line play, and sure enough, a couple linebackers they have are doing a great job as well. So Quincy Scott back to kick, kicking it over to the left side of the field. It's fielded on the fly by Ryan Olivaz. Olivaz trotting across the 50, fights off a few Patriots to the 45-yard line. And so like we promised, there's a few upset alerts that could be on patrol as we switch sides of the football here And I know Nate has a quick update for us before Liberty gets back out on the field.
Raymore Peculiar currently on the road at Rockhurst with a 6-3 lead on the Hawklets. Rockhurst coming off a loss last week, and this one, the first home game of the year, and Ray Peck on the road right now is taking it to him. And then, as I mentioned in the Kansas score, Shawnee Mission North leads Olathe North 8-7 there in the first half. That game is a big shock too, as Olathe North is one of the top teams in Class 6 in Kansas.
And so a few games we'll keep an eye on you for here. Liberty, Luke Smith tossed it out of bounds, looking for a short out route there.
And just back to that Ray Peck Rockhurst game.
Sure.
Both those teams are in Liberty's district.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is big. Ray Peck is tied. They're up there. Currently third in the district. Park Hill's up at the top currently.
And here we go. Deep ball. Post route intercepted. Truman coming back the other way. Luke Smith looking deep. That's Nate Clemens. Clemens tripped up around the 32-yard line. And finally a big play for Truman. And believe it or not, every single time there's a big play, there was a flag thrown. So we'll have to see what happened here. But Nate Clemens picks off Luke Smith, trying to go for the post route, and well played by Clemens.
So there's our first turnover of the ball game, physical turnover.
Yeah, there are a few what we would call penalty turnovers where you kind of set yourself back and then have to punt it away. But yep, the first true turnover. And yes, a block in the back on an interception return is the call.
Oh, man.
And that will set back Truman to the 22-yard line. Then Nate, I saw a little bit of, you don't know about a block in the back on interception. What are your thoughts there?
I mean, I saw it, and
Sure.
it stinks. But for the Patriots, if you see the numbers back here,
Yeah, don't touch him.
Don't
Yep.
touch.
Fair enough. If you're on the football field, the other person's turned the other way. Don't shove him in the back. Dimitri Smith up the middle, taken down with a gain of 4. And Jackson White, the guy that we see making a lot of plays tonight. And a helmet fell off. That was
timeout though.
Matthew Henning, and so they're forced to take a timeout because of the helmet if they wanted to stay in the game. So they do. 2:28 here to go in the opening half. It's 17-0. We'll return after this on 810varsity.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
Welcome back to Truman High School. We do want to thank all of our sponsors for the ads during the games. Couldn't do it without you here on 810varsity.com. 2:28 here to go in the opening half. And Carter Brown and this Truman Patriot offense would love to get some points on the board, get that goose egg off. It's just high snap, and he's going over the middle deep and about 15 yards overthrown to his man, A.J. Geitzen.
And you know the thing? Geitzen was open.
It's pretty open.
That's a better throw. Geitzen has a shot at getting the corner, getting the edge, and heading to the opposite sideline.
Yeah, and that was the thing. That time the 3-high safety look really kind of cracked. There were a couple guys on that far side, and there was just one-on-one coverage. Had a chance there, and falls incomplete as he did overthrow that.
It was one of those. I didn't play quarterback. Brown had it and was hopping as he threw, and just it sailed on him.
Yeah, definitely want to set those feet. So Brown out of the shotgun again. This time a pocket forms, and he's up and scrambled across the 35 to the 40. He goes out of bounds for a first down on a 3rd down and 6 and stops the clock. And there you go. There's Carter Brown on the run.
The thing, and me and you read the same thing, he's coming off some injuries.
Yeah.
He did the smart thing in that play there. Get out of bounds. Make sure you're not going to get leveled.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 4-sport athlete, injuries
it's
are
tough.
not good.
No. Well, because, I mean, a couple times here, on both sides of the ball, you've had some issues as far as injuries go. And anytime you have a four-sport athlete who's literally never stopping in high school, an injury is gonna hurt one season or another. And so Carter Brown scrambles. We'll call it 13 yards and a first down. A handoff to Dimitri Smith, and Smith just met at the line of scrimmage. And it's a little bit of a tug-of-war, a rugby skirmish. And a timeout will be taken by Liberty. So going to try and get the ball back here at the end of the first half. 2:05 here to go. Liberty will have one timeout left. And, so far it's one of those things where Truman is I guess you could say, struggled. Carter Brown, 3 of 10, 24 yards, no scores over the passing game. He's also the leading rusher now, 3 carries, 25 yards. And Nate Clemens, 1 reception, 13 yards. It's just been not as productive as they would enjoy. You can see the athleticism happening. Just one of those things they have not produced yet. 2:05 here to go. Liberty trying to get the ball back, and Nate's going to update us here on some scores, seeing how those updates as far as the upset alerts go.
Well, the upset alert on the Kansas side, Olathe North now has a 21-15 to lead, as in the other games stayed the same. So Olathe North looks like they've righted the ship a little bit there,
Okay.
as they're probably close to halftime if I had to guess.
Okay. And we will keep you updated if you want to keep an eye on it as well. 810 Varsity Scoreboard online. Carter Brown across the middle and intercepted. Michael Book on the interception. It's just a tip drill, and flags fly at the end. He returned it to the Truman 45-yard line, and we'll see what the flags are. To be fair, a pretty good throw, just went off the hands a little hard.
Might have been a little bit, too much zip on
A little
it still.
zippy?
That's what Carter Brown's got to work on as a quarterback. Get that in there. Don't chuck it in there 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to catch it.
Yeah, trying to fit it into a spot, certainly difficult. One of those things where that's a decision where, to be fair, the guy was open. It's just a little bit of hot mustard, and we see this, with all over the place. You can pick your quarterback, but obviously a lot of people around here pick Patrick Mahomes. He can throw the ball a mile and can throw it extremely fast. Sometimes your guys just aren't ready, and so that was the case there. Michael Book on the tip drill. Believe it or not, that's his first catch, and he's a great receiver on the outside for Liberty. So it takes a two-way player and an interception to get it done.
They're working out a penalty that's not quite sure what they're going to call. It's a
after the play, personal foul on Truman, which will tack on another 15. It's tough.
Man.
I mean, we said this earlier, a big play, and then this time it's a negative play against him, and then it gets even worse. So that will take it.
So it's going to be in prime territory to get another touchdown here before the half.
And Liberty will have a timeout left. So they're going to go from the 45-yard line all the way to the 30, assuming this guy is actually stepping off real yardage here. Yeah, okay. So there you go. So he stepped it off to look official, and then obviously just counted out the yard markers because that's what they're there for. So a 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end. We're going to give this Liberty Blue Jay team another chance here at the scoreboard as it's 17-0 here with 1:56 to go.
Coach Pugh's trying to get an explanation of what happened.
And we'll update you tonight if you're watching with us here on 810varsity.com. All of the coaches on the Truman sideline as well as the chain gang wearing yellow shirts. We'll give you an update on what that's about here at halftime as well as we go over the stats. And we give you an update around the area as well. But for now, Liberty at the Truman 30-yard line with 1:56 to go. Luke Smith stands at the 35. Screen pass again. Wintrick Williams around the left side makes one man miss, another man miss, back across the field and dragged down from behind. A little dangerous tackle there at the 20-yard line. He's going to be very close to another first down.
One of those on the sideline, you're holding your breath, that
legs and ankles, and you just want to be careful. I mean, whenever you see anybody get tackled from behind, it's very high chance of knees and ankles going all sorts of places. So they'll call it a first down. They have not moved the chains yet. Still have not moved the chains, but they are allowing the clock to run since the chains have not moved. So from the 20, Luke Smith, chest high snap. He's rushed, flushed out of the pocket, still on his feet, up around the 17, down to the 15-yard line before getting blasted out of bounds.
One of the refs in the middle of the field got ran over by Mylan Townsend, and Townsend stops running, helps him up, and then starts going back to try to make a tackle.
At 6'2", 250, some of those refs are not that big. Mylan Townsend is that big. So it's 2nd down and 5 from the 15, 55 seconds to go. Luke Smith rolling, looking, throwing, catching is Caleb Cahill, the man he keeps going back to tonight. The junior, 5'11", 170, is a guy he's been finding a lot tonight.
And he did catch that.
Yep, it will stop the clock. 47 seconds, first down. Luke Smith rolling left. Looks like the same play, just the opposite side. Looking, rolling, scrambling, out of bounds, and throws the kid off of him as he goes out at the 7.5 to stop the clock at 34.1 seconds with one timeout.
Yeah, 2nd down and goal, right now you could take a shot towards the middle of the field, even short of the goal line, and set yourself up for a lot closer opportunity. You could even run the football, hand off Wintrick Williams, and he could probably get those 7 yards.
So Smith, they decide to pass it, is rolling, moving pocket, has a lot of guys, this time open to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty. Number 6, Blake Fordyce, the man who's overcome really a lot of things there for the 6-yard score. Fordyce has 8 touchdowns in 5 games last season due to a short season to 2 ACL tears and a broken collarbone. So welcome back to the touchdowns, Blake Fordyce, the guy that's been through a lot. 6-yard score there, and that's going to make it 23-0 Liberty. On for the extra point is blocked and no good. So Alex Rockajab not able to get it up. Don't know if that was the holder, but something in translation, it was not the kick. Just kind of knuckleballed. So 23-0, 24 seconds here to go in the half. And one of those things where we will update you coming up at half on, like we said, the yellow shirts on the sideline, as well as games around the area, A10 Varsity scoreboard. And then we get you ready for the second half and see maybe what the key is for Truman to maybe get on the board.
Yeah, not going to hide my my game plan for that.
Yeah.
I'll wait till we get closer to halftime. But all right, I'll talk about Liberty there. Perfectly executed drive. There is 24.8 seconds left. Perfectly executed. And the blocking up front on that play was outstanding. Luke Smith was able to run to the right, run back to the left, run back to the right, and then roll to the left, set his feet, and toss it, and find Fordyce running under the pass in the corner of the end zone. Really good ball from Luke Smith.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things where athletes and receivers and quarterbacks working together, where you have a design play to the right, everybody goes to the right, and then, oh no, my quarterback's in trouble, let me try and find a space, and that's what Fordyce did. As a 5-play drive, 1 minute 26 seconds off the clock, and 7 more points for Liberty, or 6 more points, I should say. 23-0 is the score. So the ball rolls into the end zone, and that will be a touchback. First deep kick that we've seen tonight from Liberty, and Alex Rockajab.
So from the 20, if you're Truman, just hand the ball off once, maybe something great happens.
Yeah.
Or just sit on it and go to halftime and go back to the drawing board, because it has not been a great first half. There's a lot of things you need to clean up for Coach Pugh.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of mistakes that need to be kind of touched up.
Yeah, it has been tough. We'll update you on the stats here at halftime as far as time of possession, penalties, and such coming up here at half. 24.8 seconds to go. And Carter Brown out of the shotgun. A handoff like Nate called. Dimitri Smith up the middle for 8. And that should take us into halftime. Head coach Charlie Pugh. And a beautiful moon just popped up over the trees this neighborhood over here in Independence. At 5 seconds left, it looks like Carter Brown wants to run a play. Sure enough, he does. Gets the snap off. And it's a screen pass over to the right side, caught by Nate Clemens. And Clemens gets pushed out of bounds, and that will take us to half. So pad the stats a little bit. Truman will go to half down here at home, 23-0 to the number 15 Liberty Blue Jays. We'll take a timeout, and we'll come back with statistics as well as the update on the scoreboard around the area. You're watching high school football. It's 23-0 Liberty at the half. We'll be right back on 810varsity.com.
Whether it be auto, home, life, umbrella, small business, or specialty coverages, Jeff Watt of Farmers Insurance looks forward to helping you make a wise decision for your future. Jeff's been a long-time resident of Liberty and is happy to answer any questions you might have. Give Jeff a call at 816-792-1415 or visit farmersagent.com/jwatt. Jeff Watt of Farmers Insurance, a proud supporter of the Liberty community and athletics.
For tonight's halftime entertainment, we proudly present the Truman High School Marching Band. The band will be performing the first 3 movements from its 2019 show, Above the Horizon. Selections will include aerodynamics, married life, and 1,000 airplanes on the roof. The band is led on the field by drum majors Ryan Caswell, Ali Howcheck, Kaylin Kyle, and Grace Stable. Alto sax soloist is Aaron Muller. The band is under the direction of Todd Reinhardt, Josh Hurt, and Jeremy Meyer. The color guard is directed by Heather Abney. Additional staff include Courtney Abney, Caleb Wright, Caitlin Vargas, and Julie Garton. Music for the show was written by Craig Fitzpatrick with percussion arrangements by Jeremy Meyer. The drill was written by Joe Keys. We hope you enjoy tonight's performance.
Yeah, there was a door open.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News and World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
They split time and halftime for each band. Is that how they do that?
There's just one band.
Oh, okay. Liberty didn't bring a band.
Core Civic is proud to support Lansing Athletics. Core Civic is America's leader in partnership corrections, operating over 60 facilities in nearly half of all states. Learn more about Core Civic job opportunities at corecivic.com. You can apply for a rewarding position as a correctional officer, a nurse, or a school teacher, just to name a few. Your next career could be in corrections with Core Civic. Visit corecivic.com. That's corecivic.com.
Man, yeah, if that referee guy would have stayed in here, it would have been pretty tight.
Yeah.
So where do you
Today
live,
is a new day.
I live in Farley.
A day we've been waiting for our whole lives.
Where's that at in comparison to here?
We've put in the work to get to this moment,
Okay.
to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
Which one? The person gave it to him?
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
For high school stuff around here? Cool. Wait, how old are you, Nate?
27.
Okay. We're the same age. I was like, couldn't tell if you were
I'm old.
younger or old.
I'm older.
The old man life.
Oh yeah. Me and a buddy, we do just a general KC sports podcast, and we do a high school.
Cool.
High school one's done. Not great. Our other one's done a lot better.
Say again?
Our other one. Oh my gosh, no way.
Oh wow. If they pull that off, people are gonna freak out.
Their starting quarterback Carter Stanley's throwing for 3 touchdowns.
Oh.
I mean, BC's stud running back is 128 yards rushing at halftime already.
Wow.
I picked BC to win and cover.
Oh, really? What was the line on that?
-21.
Whoa! Holy cow!
Oh, sweet, I do have my Twitter up there. Ooh. Finest is up big.
How are we doing on time? Are we solid?
I'm sitting on our previous screen.
So 7:23 is really how much we have left in halftime?
Plus 3 more minutes.
Oh, plus 3.
Yeah.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News and World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Welcome back to Truman High School. Jonathan Plasek on board with Nate Kendall, running the camera, doing the color commentary. Great job. We're chatting it up here, getting to know each other at halftime. It's 23-0 Liberty, the number 15 team in the 810 varsity top 25, or top 60 if you go look right now. Lots of stuff going on, lots of rankings, but number 15 out of those 60 teams is the Liberty Blue Jays. So, a lot of stuff to go over here. We have some statistics from the first half. Truman, total offense 91 yards, and 8 penalties, 70 yards. So netting 21 yards total. Not great, Nate.
No, it felt like the penalty-wise, felt like they had more, but they also had a couple to call.
They did have a, yeah. 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 Yeah.
Just the simple things that you can fix.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah. Charlie Pugh and his squad, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I hope to see in the second half they come out a little bit of fight, come out, move the ball on offense, maybe get into the end zone.
So, we had a little microphone not on there. That's okay. It was a good thought. Hopefully you guys heard it. But, yes, looking for some fight and the type of team that, yes, 3 decline penalties turned into, so they would have 11 total if they took it. As far as Liberty goes, pretty solid performance so far. 13 rushes, 104 yards, 90 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, a couple things to clean up, a turnover, and then, an interception that maybe should have been there.
Both teams had an interception thrown in that first half. That pick was, I mean, you got to give credit, though, to Nate Clemens. Went up, made a really, really good play on the ball to get the ball back, and then sure enough, like 3 plays later,
gave it back.
Truman throws the ball right back to Liberty.
And so as far as penalties for them, 3 penalties, 25 yards, 1 of 4 on third down. So a couple things you can clean up there. You want to be able to convert on third down to be able to continue to move the ball. But for now, it's 23-0 here. We're about 2.5 minutes away from action. But for now, we want to go to the 810 varsity scoreboard and get some updates from Missouri as well as Kansas here from Nate.
Yeah, we'll hit some of the bigger games with more like implications here in the area.
Sure.
Lee Summit North's got the lead back on Blue Springs. That game is, I believe I saw it was online. No, never mind. No, that game's not online. Sorry. Lee Summit West leads Blue Springs South 24-14. Solid game going right there. That game is on 810varsity.com. The Park Hill Liberty North game. Liberty North leads 21-3 right now over Park Hill. In kind of a surprising affair there. Fort Osage leads 14-0. That game is here on 810varsity.com as well. Another game online here. Smithville 7, Grain Valley 7. Kearney trails Platte County 21-7, and Blue Valley Northwest went 0-9 last year They are leading Harrisonville 14-6. And some other games that are on our station: St. James Academy 7, Mill Valley nothing. Very good ball game there. That game is also on our air currently. St. Thomas Aquinas 42, Blue Valley Southwest 7. That game is also online. Miege with a 27-14 lead. That game's not online, but a solid, very good-looking game right there. Lansing trails Baser 17-7. Olathe North, I put them on upset alert. No, not anymore. It's a 35-15 lead over Shawnee Mission North. And then back to the Missouri side, the game that really you and I are both kind of surprised and keeping an eye on. It's still 6-3.
Okay.
That's a game I'm going to
want to keep watching,
have one eye on the rest of this ball game. It's Ray Peck with the lead currently, upset brewing.
Okay. Fair enough.
Over at Rockhurst, downtown Kansas City.
Yep.
That is a fun game. Raytown, they're taking their revenge out after their loss last week. Like I mentioned a little bit ago, they're up 21-8 on Raytown South. Not really surprised. Joe Campbell, the quarterback for Raytown. They've got a lot of athletes. He's got a lot of players to play with, and that's not really a surprise, but also, the fact that they're 1-1 right now after those first two games is
and to be fair, they got a scare at Blue Spring South as well whenever they pulled out that win in week 1. Got to watch that one in person. It was a pretty tight game. They were down 21-10 at the end of the half, so they able to win that game, and then able to get back on track tonight, seems like, against their rival, Raytown South.
One more fun score I'll just touch on real fast.
Okay, fair enough.
Savannah from up north of St. Joe, they took a trip because they had an open week this week with Bishop LeBlanc dropping out of the MEC down to 8-man. They traveled to Bristow, Oklahoma.
Oh, yes.
And are down 29-22.
Bristow, Oklahoma. I'll give somebody $1 if they can comment in the YouTube where that's at, and not Google. If you've been to Bristow, Oklahoma, I dare you to put that in. I'll give you $1.
I didn't even Google to see where it's at.
So we got a pooch kick here to start off, and a big man is going to cover up. Ball's out still. And I believe they got back on top of it, but I tell you what, a big man tried to recover that. That was 55, Jonathan Moreno, 5'10", 215. So a very short pooch kick that time. Typically they've been kicking it to about the 20, but that time to the 40. And so, do we see points on the board here?
I hope so.
For the sake of Truman.
For Truman, yes, and for you and I, keep this game compelling as long as possible.
Yeah, as long as possible. Well, tell you what, if nothing's more compelling, go out and watch football. My goodness, it's 70 degrees outside, no wind, and the moon is spectacular. As for now, Carter Brown hands it off to Dimitri Smith. And hold on there, big fellas. Man, lots of guys there. Quigley in there, as well as Jackson White. Those two guys.
You name it. They were in on that tackle.
So here's the thing. If they're playing a 4-2-2 on the outside and then 3 high safeties, those 2 linebackers are playing incredibly well. Mm-hmm. To have 2 linebackers only is pretty impressive, right? Yeah. So, here at Truman High School, currently 70, just turned to 69 degrees. Absolutely incredible outside,
and
with 7-mile-an-hour wind.
If you're not at a game, if you're watching us online, why?
Maybe because they love us. We'll say that, Nate.
Let's go with that.
Carter Brown, 5-step drop this time, scrambles. This is where he's at his best. Rolling right, looking right, going to go for the marker. Got to scare the chain gang over there. Good-looking chain gang, by the way. In the yellow shirts, which, by the way, we were going to touch on that here.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. The yellow shirts are all about raising awareness for childhood cancer. Truman partnered with Liberty North Liberty and William Chrisman, and selling T-shirts and raising money at alexslemonade.org. And Coach Pugh used to work at Liberty North. Adam Boiling, their defensive line coach at Liberty North, his son Kellen had childhood cancer and is now by the grace of God, 5 years cancer-free, and they felt like giving back to the foundation to try and end childhood cancer. So, alexslemonade.com, you can search it and help out towards childhood cancer, and trying to figure that out because we do not like cancer anywhere. For now, Carter Brown across the middle goes to the sideline and completes it. Number 17, the first time we've called Drake Holly on offense, and it will be short, and it will bring up a 4th down. So, Nate, as far as childhood cancer prevention and stuff like that, and trying to figure out a cure, hats off to these coaches and these guys, all Coach Greg Jones at Liberty North, Freegon at Liberty, and Coach Perry at Chrisman, all trying to get on board with these guys here at Truman.
Yeah, I love it. It's amazing that they're doing that to raise some money and get some awareness to a very difficult disease to deal with. Families that have to deal with it for their children.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for adults, but
yeah,
seeing young kids have to.
Yeah, there was a picture that went viral the other day of a 4-year-old sister consoling her 5-year-old brother who is battling childhood cancer, and I know it's a huge deal. So if you can, alexslemonade.com is the site. And we also have selling T-shirts here at Truman. So, let's get cancer figured out here. Let's get us a cancer-free world if we can at some point. As for now, Liberty's back on the field, up 23-0, and yes, it's a healthy dose. It's Wintrick Williams III with the handoff, a spin move, picking up 3. To be fair, Truman's run defense has been fairly decent tonight.
Yeah, they've held Wintrick Williams in check. I don't know. I mean, you had the stats up. I didn't see how many yards he had.
It said 103 yards carrying as far as total, 61 total for Wintrick in the first half.
Yeah, that's I'd expect to see probably a few more of those carries to him.
Yeah.
He'll get up over 100, if not to 150.
Yeah.
He's going to be on that list that you see on 810varsity.com of who's leading in stats.
Yeah.
He's going to be in that top 10 every week with the rushing yards, average, and totals.
And speaking of him again, just a tough guy to bring down. Another 5 yards for him at 5'11", 185. And to be fair, he's a sophomore, so he's going to be the type of kid that's going to get bigger. He's going to get faster. He's going to get more athletic. It's going to be really tough here in a couple of years whenever he's going to be a senior.
That's a grown man already.
Yeah.
That's a college back body.
Yeah.
Now, if he can trim a little bit of baby weight out of there, he's only going to get bigger, and he's going to become a very, very good running back.
Yeah, and I imagine in the offseason they're going to be pumping some iron onto him, getting him bigger. If he can get up to 195 and just a bowling ball of a running back, it's going to be extremely difficult to bring him down. So a late Liberty Blue Jay onto the field for this 3rd down and 3. 9:19 here to go in the 3rd quarter. And Wintrick Williams, another handoff, battling forward. It's going to be close. Right at the marker is that far line judge. And I would imagine, if we see another touchdown come up on the board, we might not see a lot more of Wintrick Williams tonight, as well as Luke Smith. Maybe get some guys some playing time as far as if they continue to pitch a shutout.
Yeah, 30, that would be 30 when they hit running clock.
I cannot remember when they hit running clock here in Missouri.
In Missouri anymore.
Yeah. Lots of rules.
When I was in high school, we running clocked a lot of teams.
Where'd you play?
West Platte.
Okay, West Platte.
We were small. We were pretty good for at least my sophomore year. We were pretty good.
Yeah, so there is at some point a running clock. I can't remember if it's 30, 35. One of you guys can tell us out there on the Missouri rules. Obviously, with us covering the span of Missouri and Kansas, it's kind of, you got a couple of different rules in there.
And not really used to, most of the games I covered last year and then to start this year, I didn't see any running clock.
Yeah.
A lot of very
competitive
football games.
And so Luke Smith on the run here on the scramble up across the 40, close to another first down. They did give him a first down on the last run by Wintrick Williams III. So that he'll be close to a first down. Not sure they moved the chains yet. They'll call it 2nd and inches. No, they will move it back to a first down. Chain gang doing a great job over there. Some Very nice people over there as well. Tough job, chain gang and referees.
Done it.
Have you?
Gang, done it.
Tough job.
It's not fun when it's a cold night and it's a blowout game. Trust me, had that last year. Wanted to leave.
Yeah, well, luckily for us tonight, it's only maybe one of those two things. As Wintrick Williams spins and gets crushed across the line. Very, very good tackle there. Number 17, Drake Hawley. Honestly, he's another, kind of bright spot for this Truman defense. Pretty good, solid front seven. Just a couple of screenplays and a few things like that. This thing could be the other way, and obviously a lot of penalties. They'll bring second and 9.
It's been, nearly a flawless go of it for Liberty tonight.
Yeah.
Which, just the one turnover, just a couple, 3 penalties.
And he
blocked extra point. That's about the only thing that they've done wrong tonight.
And
not a lot.
Jason Boatwright on the stop there on Williams. And, one sack early in the game. This Truman defensive line is tough. A couple of big guys in there, but one of those things that they got to him early, and then eventually, they settled in that Liberty offensive line and has done a pretty good job here controlling the game. 7:08 here to go in the third quarter. Putting together a nice little drive. This will be the 6th play of the drive coming up. Luke Smith, 8 of 14, 90 yards, 3 touchdowns. So here's my thing is, high school, we want to say this is a spread offense. We call Liberty a spread offense, but not a ton of deep passes. Just as I say that, he's on the run. Flag flies, throws an interception, and that's going to stand. It should be a hold, and that's intercepted by Chris Rhodes. Just as we said that they've had a flawless game, he throws it to the sideline, and I believe it's going to be an interception that will stand.
Be a hold.
Unless they see something on the other side here. Holding on the offense, and it will be Truman ball. So another turnover. 2 interceptions now for Luke Smith, and Chris Rhodes, the beneficiary of catching that one and bringing it back to the Liberty 42-yard line.
It's Truman back to +1 in the turnover battle. Now it's all a matter of don't give it back.
Yeah.
And
well,
you got positive field position.
Yeah. And that's something that you can say, if you end up losing this game, which, there's still some time, but one of those positives you can take away, winning the turnover battle. Now, they probably will not win the penalty battle because clearly in the first half they had a lot. But, some things here in the second half they can take advantage of. And so, Truman back with the ball. Carter Brown, play action, looking deep, throwing deep, up top, caught, in stride, touchdown Truman. A.J. Geitson there for a 42-yard touchdown. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch in stride. And Truman's on the board with 6 points here in the middle of the third quarter.
Man, what a ball by Carter Brown. Perfect amount of touch. Geitson ran under it and made a fantastic catch and took her into the end zone for a touchdown.
And all of a sudden, there's some life here on this Truman fan base. A beautiful throw, beautiful catch, and for the first time, we'll call Josh Dixon's name. First kicker in the history I've ever seen with a visor. Snap, hold, kick is good, and it's 23-7. Just as I said, they might not have time to come back. We'll find out. And it's 23-7. Liberty will come back out and try to make up for that interception right after this on a10varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Parkville schools, Blue Valleys, Olathe, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back to Truman. A little bit of life here in this crowd. 23-7. 42-yard hookup on one play. Talk about turning defense into offense. Carter Brown to A.J. Geitson there
for 42 yards. So a pooch kick away from Josh Dixon and taking it to 20. Going across the field, got some blocks up ahead of him, across the 30, down around the 34, and that is Parker Campbell, the 5'9 junior. Nice 14-yard return as Liberty returns to the field and trying to make up for a mistake. Luke Smith, if you're coach, do you go right back to it? You go right back to the air?
Nah. You've got one of the best running backs in the city.
Nah.
I'll be just simply saying, "Hut,
yep,
here we go, let's go."
Handoff, snap, handoff, try and run it out. Yeah, I mean, unless you get in a third down long situation, it might be where you'd have to throw it there. But yeah,
if you're throwing 2 picks tonight, I mean, I'd be leaning towards let's run the football a little bit, try to eat some clock.
Yeah, I imagine Coach Freegon will decide to put it in the hands of his running back, sophomore. But how's the scoreboard look, Nate?
Rockhurst got on the board. It's 10-6 now. They have the advantage over Raymore Peculiar in a game that's been, I mean, Rockhurst, that's kind of what you expect. You see tight games every week from Rockhurst. Sure. So, not really surprised that the score is that tight, but I figured Rockhurst would probably have the advantage most of the night.
And so a handoff to Williams here, battling Ford for 6.
I mean, just quietly having a great game. I mean, he's the type of guy that, as they get closer to playoffs and start looking towards, obviously, their schedule, you alluded to it earlier with Ray Peck and also Rockhurst in there. It's going to be a tough road coming up for them. They have Liberty North, their rival, at home next week, and then at Lee Summit North, number 12, and number 11, Liberty North. So a couple of tough games coming up for Liberty. As for now, Luke Smith rolling right, looking right, going to the air, instead goes out of bounds around the 43-yard line.
And the thing about Liberty, back-to-back weeks, they're going to get their opponents off of a game against Park Hill. They got Lee Summit North coming after. Okay, the next week with Liberty North is playing Park Hill right now.
Yep.
Then the week after, they got Lee Summit North. Lee Summit North plays at Park Hill next weekend.
Yeah.
Or next Friday night. So they're getting some opponents after facing a very physical, tough Park Hill team.
Yeah. And so that's something to keep an eye on as Liberty maybe, can get some rundown teams. As for now, Williams across the middle battles his way up to the 48-yard line and a first down on third down. So 5:42 here to go in the third. Clock will run once the chains are reset. But yeah, definitely a tough schedule up ahead for Liberty. However, like you said, going to be coming off a very tough opponent the week beforehand. So could be one of those things where you catch guys after injuries or just pure tired.
Yeah.
We're going to get closer to the middle of the season. They'll be tired.
It's the thing with anybody, if you're playing in Class 6 or playing in the Suburban Red, Suburban Gold, you're not going to have easy games every week. It's going to be a rough matchup.
Yeah.
Every week out there. And even when you play non-conference, I mean, this is a conference game, technically. Like, I know I keep going back to Park Hill, but one of their non-conference games is against Staley.
Yeah, tough game.
You're going to schedule a game with probably one of the top 5 teams in the city.
Yeah.
It's only going to make you better come a few weeks down the road when you're playing in playoffs.
On that last play, Williams followed a great block. This time he gets the handoff up around the 35, rolls down to the 31. Want to give a shout-out to Callum Trester. The offensive lineman at left guard was able to pull across and get a pretty solid block on a very physical Mylan Townsend on the play before that. So back-to-back big runs for Williams there as he goes for 9 and then for another 11 here. So a good solid drive here. This is play number 7 coming up for the Blue Jays as we tick closer to 4:15 here in the third quarter.
And Williams is probably going to be over 100 yards before you know it.
And Smith will bring him back one more time behind him. Right now he's at 94 yards. So, yes, very soon we'll go over the 100-yard mark. Little play action out into the flat to the fullback. Truman trying to stand him up there. Drake Smith, the reception. So a couple of yard gain there. We'll call it 4.5. So we'll bring up 2nd and 5. I do apologize. That last 11-yard run did put him over 100 yards. So now 18 carries, 105 yards, and then tack on that a couple of screen plays and 1 touchdown early in the game for him. He's had quite a game. 130 yards from scrimmage. Smith out of the stack formation, rolls left, looks left, being flushed out, scrambles this time, up close to the first down. I tell you what, Mylan Townsend, for a 250-pound frame, pushed him all the way to the sideline. He's the type of guy that you would imagine he would get some looks as well with that type of big frame. Maybe he's a fullback. We saw him earlier carry the ball a little bit.
Some D2 type looks, probably. Yep. Yeah, 6'2", 250. That's a D2.
Yep.
Defensive end.
And he's coming off the field right now, and for the first time on defense, we'll see David Brack, 6'9", 240. He's going to be defensive end at the top of your screen. He's a big kid, and Coach Pugh said that he is just trying to learn his body still. 6'9" frames, very difficult. They run it right at him. Williams across the 20, down to the 15, and dragged down there.
He got stuck, too, in the middle of the field.
And that was A.J. Geitzen there, the recipient of the touchdown earlier with the stick.
And for Liberty, as I forgot to update the scoreboard, for Liberty, this is the exact kind of drive you want to have right after giving up a long touchdown pass.
Yep.
Eat up some clock, just pick up chunks of yards, and looks like they should find the end zone very quickly.
And so that was their 10th, or this is the 10th play of the drive coming up. Over 4 minutes off the clock. Williams around the right side into the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty. 14 yards out, but there is some laundry on the field. And I believe that will be coming back. It is going to be a hold on the offense. So that negates another score for Williams.
I mean, right there, that it was probably one of those holds. It was probably at the point of attack, and it's like, sorry, got to call it. Got to pull him on back. And
yeah, whenever it's even in a game where it is technically still a 2-score game here, that could be a big play considering it was a touchdown. It'll turn into first down, and I think we're going to call it 18 yards on the far sideline over there. So it negates a touchdown. That's a big deal here. So we'll see if that affects it.
If they don't find the end zone on this drive, that you can go right back to that. Mark that down on your sheet.
Yeah, mark it down on the sheet. It could be a very big deal. So Williams back behind Smith. Smith takes the snap, looks in at the hitch route, complete inside around the 12-yard line before being dragged down. And that was number 10, Caden Dennis, his first reception of the evening. We'll bring that down to a 2nd down and manageable, 2nd and 7. 2:15 here to go.
Looks like down here on the sideline, Mylan Townsend looks like he's getting some work on some cramps. Both of his legs.
Yeah, big man. Williams around the left side driving through. Another flag flies down inside the 5. Nate's going to call it a hold. And Nate's been right a lot tonight. I mean, whenever you see the umpire toss the flag in on a pretty solid run, you have a pulling guard, a couple of guys down blocking, typically results in a hold. But there's a Blue Jay down. And as of right now, I don't want to speculate, but I do think that's Wendrick Williams. Obviously, a lot of concerned Blue Jay fans is the kid that is 20 carries deep, has 140 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown.
Because we have not seen another running back carry the football.
No, we have not.
It's been him and Luke Smith with all the carries. And if
So
that
we'll
is Wintrick Williams, then they're going to have to go to A.J. Mortina.
He looks like he's okay. He's hobbling a touch, but it is Wintrick Williams, and then he hits a slight jog. Maybe a little,
Wind knocked out of him, maybe.
Yeah,
like
wind knocked
that.
out, maybe knocking knees a little bit. Whenever you get down inside the 5-yard line, you're pushing for the end zone. Lots of stuff can happen, pulling at ankles, pulling at shoulders. So he looks to be okay. I imagine we might see him again, depending upon how the rest of this drive goes. As for now, with 1:53 left in the third, it is 23-7, as you can see on your screen, and Luke Smith trying to lead this Blue Jay team to another touchdown. And now without their leading rusher, Wintrick Williams. A.J. Mortina, I believe, will be the running back, but they go out of the split. This time it's going to be a sack.
Brack.
Truman, and it is Brack. David Brack, the 6'9", 240-pound senior, coming in for the sack. And I tell you what, probably a lot of that was his wingspan. He reached out his big arms and just grabbed him.
He just pushed the left tackle back.
Pushed him back and
was in the quarterback's lap. He ate his lunch.
Yeah, I don't know if which one's harder, but Landon Robinson over there at 6'4", he's 5 inches shorter than Brack, and he's been taking on Mylan Townsend all night. So now it's 3rd and 17, under a minute here to go in the third quarter, and it's another pass. Smith steps up and goes left now, scrambles across the 15, and push out of bounds. This can be 4th down.
And like we said, mark it down. Wintrick Williams had a touchdown knocked off the board.
Yep, a couple of holding penalties, and that really resulted in, 5 penalties now, so 2 of them there on that drive, resulting in now a field goal attempt. We saw Rocket Job make a 35-yarder in the first half, and so this one's going to be from 29 yards. The holder is the quarterback, Luke Smith. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is up and away and is good. So down the middle, that'll put Liberty back up by 19 points. It's 26-7 here, about 43 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And Truman will be looking for another score whenever we return here on 810 Varsity.
Core Civic is proud to support Lansing Athletics. Core Civic is America's leader in partnership corrections, operating over 60 facilities in nearly half of all states. Learn more about Core Civic job opportunities at corecivic.com. You can apply for a rewarding position as a correctional officer, a nurse, or a school teacher, just to name a few. Your next career could be in corrections with Core Civic. Visit corecivic.com. That's corecivic.com.
So a little bit of a drive killer there for Liberty, as they have to settle for a 29-yard field goal by Alex Rockajob. And with 43 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, we will see Rockajob kick it away here. Setting up in the middle of the field this time. We've seen some pooch kicks out of him tonight. This time he goes short and to the left and blown dead. A lot of times that means offsides. We've seen plenty of penalties tonight. It seems like a lot. Yeah, it's certainly been a lot. 13 total as far as actual penalties enforced. This is the 14th. 3 that have been declined, so 17 total. And so the recap from the last drive, 17 plays, and they went 43 yards in 5 minutes and 12 seconds for a field goal by Rockajob. So, Liberty, if you're Truman, that's definitely a win, getting a field goal there. So 26-7, and another pooch kick away
And this time it's going to be fielded by the return man. Up across the 40. He's got some daylight across the 50, down to the 45. Dragged out of bounds at the 40. And that is Quincy Scott there with a beautiful return for Truman. And a little bit of, like we said, momentum can be swayed from anywhere. This time it's from the special teams. This is about the same spot where they hit that touchdown here earlier after the interception. So we'll see if they go back to that matchup with A.J. Geitzen. Yeah, you have to think about it. Well, they've been targeting Chris Rhodes a lot as well, and so Rhodes, on the other side, both deep threats clearly, and so this time we'll see what they elect to go with. And guarding him down at the bottom of your screen is Ryan Olivaz up against A.J. Geitzen. So taking the snap is Brown. Brown hands it off to Dimitri Smith, and that's a loss of 1. Another great play there by the front, and that's Matthew Henning there at defensive end, bringing him down. That's Liberty. They are going to be against anybody. I think that defensive front, they're not huge, or I guess I should call them their front 6. They're not huge, but they're speedy, and they get to the running back quickly.
They make the plays that they need to make. They make the plays that they're supposed to make, and they stick guys. They're not going to let up a lot of rushing yards, because tonight that's been how it's kind of been. No running game really for Truman.
So, and rushing attempts, 19 carries for 57 yards, 25 of them through Carter Brown. So, we head to the fourth quarter. It's 26-7 Liberty. You're watching high school football on 810varsity.com.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back to fourth quarter action here on 810varsity.com. Jonathan Pulaski and Nate Kendall here joining you. We appreciate your time tonight. If you're not at a football game, you want to watch Truman and Liberty. And a good play there. That is a guy that already has a interception tonight. Michael Book came in on the blitz and knocked down Carter Brown's pass to a wide open receiver.
Really, really good play by Book. He was reading the play instead of over-pursuing like a lot of guys would on that blitz. He just spied Carter Brown, and as he rolled out, he just sat there and waited.
Almost to the point where he could have caught that. Ooh. It was pretty close. I mean, he would have been gone.
If he picks that, bye-bye.
Yeah, Carter Brown's fast, but I don't know if he's catching him after a full sprint head start. So it's 3rd and 11 for Truman. Key play here. Carter Brown, 3-step drop. Good rush, rolling right. It's tough play. He's able to gather himself, throw it to the sideline, and incomplete. That one intended for Chris Rhodes on the play. So able to stop on the scramble, set his feet, and try and get it there, but just wasn't able to get it all the way to Rhodes.
Now, 4th and 11. We'll see what they do. Looks like they
got to go for it, I think. At this point, it's they're down 19, so a 3-score game now. Carter Brown, pretty athletic kid, and they're on the Liberty side of the field at the 39.5. So, we'll see what they do here. I imagine we'll see another kind of rolling, moving pocket. Try and find his favorite receiver. 3-high safety look for Liberty, and then a couple of corners. Just so tough to pass against it. And then there's a flag. That's going to be an illegal motion, so it'll make it 4th down and 16. Just really tough. 4th and 11 is tough enough. And 4th, 16. By the way, Carter Brown 6 of 16 tonight, 83 yards in that touchdown. Half of those yards coming on the touchdown, and then the one interception. So here in the fourth quarter, 11:45 to go. Big play here for Truman. Down 19, and against essentially what you would call 5 defensive backs plus 2 linebackers. You'd imagine you'd see only a 4-man rush here, trying to keep Carter Brown in the pocket here. 3-step drop after a belt-high snap. Gets into the pocket, and he's going to be getting the ball away. It's complete. Up around the 40, still going to be short, but a good play. Got it to A.J. Geitson.
I mean, it was a great effort. I applaud Brown completing that pass, and then Geitson nearly. I mean, if he slips that tackle, he's off and running.
Yeah, and very close to a first down if he gets through that one more tackle. But instead, it will be first down Liberty, 26-7, and I believe we see number 20, Wintrick Williams III, back in the backfield. I'm not 100% sure. I think we see him back. It is a handoff to Williams. And across the 45 to the 50. It's a foot race down to the 30, to the 20, the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Wintrick Williams III. 66 yards to the house and a flag down. Wintrick Williams. You said 150. He said, how about 175? And the score. We'll see what the flag is, but a great run by Williams.
Conduct. The ball is laying back behind the goalpost. There's a flag here. I think the touchdown is going to stand, though, a 66-yarder.
Yep, 66 yards. So we'll see what the referees come up with here. Personal foul on the defense. Also, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense.
Yeah, so that'll go. That will probably be on Williams. Touchdown should stand. The personal foul, he did not signal dead ball. So I would assume that personal foul will stand. I don't know how they're going to assess this.
Yes.
If they'll do it on the kickoff or what, because touchdown should stand.
Okay, dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. Touchdown's good, okay. So, just as Nate said, we would figure that would be good. So a 66-yard touchdown by Wintrick Williams III. Clearly, he's not hurt anymore. He had a little twinge earlier, and he kind of touches his knee as he goes by his head coach, Chad Freegon there. And so the touchdown's good. It's 32-7 now. After a little bit of life from Truman on the 42-yard touchdown. Some fans starting to make the exit on this beautiful Friday evening here in northwest Missouri. I imagine the other penalty will be assessed on the kickoff, like you said, Nate. So we'll see.
I'm intrigued how they're going to do it, because the personal foul, the first one, could be called. They could put that on the kickoff, but then the unsportsmanlike, they're going to kick from the 40.
Right.
It's basically offsetting, but it's
a confusing situation.
They'll be assessed, as the white hat's going to go explain. He explained to Coach Pugh what happened. Now he's going to go over to Coach Freejon and figure out what's going on there. I don't have any idea.
A confusing situation at best. It is just a weird thing. 9 penalties, 75 yards, which is really 12 for Truman tonight, and 5 for 45, which is truly 6 now for Liberty. Just not a lot of yardage tacked onto this because of issues. So this is one of those things where people who are watching the referees see how they handle this, right? I mean, we had the guy in there. He's evaluating and seeing how it's looking, and honestly, I think they've handled it pretty well. Alex rocket job in for the extra point. Done a pretty good job of kicking duties besides the one flub earlier, and it's up and good. So it's 33-7. Liberty we have 10:41 left to go here in the ball game. We'll take a quick timeout with you. We maybe have some updates for you as we get towards the latter half of this game. We'll return after this on 810varsity.com.
Whether it be auto, home, life, umbrella, small business, or specialty coverages, Jeff Watt of Farmers Insurance looks forward to helping you make a wise decision for your future. Jeff's been a long-time resident of Liberty and is happy to answer any questions you might have. Give Jeff a call at 816-792-1415 or visit farmersagent.com/jwatt. Jeff Watt of Farmers Insurance, a proud supporter of the Liberty community and athletics.
Welcome back to Truman High School. We got 33-7 ball game now as Liberty taking control here in the fourth quarter. A little bit of life out of Truman with their touchdown, but then right away, Wendrick Williams up the middle for 66 yards. His totals on the night, 20 carries, 181 yards, and one score on the ground. A couple of catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown through the air. So a deep kick goes into the end zone, and we will get a little scoring update here with Nate from some scores around the area and see how some teams are doing on the 810 varsity scoreboard. I guess we'll... Sure.
Down 31-14. Lee Summit North all over Blue Springs 31-14. Lee Summit West has a 10-point advantage on Blue Springs South currently. Liberty North still got a 21-3 lead. Kind of a surprise there. Park Hill South rolling over St. Joe Central 35-7. Fort Osage gets finally a win over Belton.
All right. We'll take a peek at the Kansas side here a little later on. Carter Brown standing at his own 15. A little screen pass and incomplete, looking for Nate Clemens. And we got some more scores here, Nate.
Rockhurst victorious 17-9 over Ray Peck. They were pushed for a long time.
Yeah.
Ended up coming back to get the victory. That's Rockhurst. Mill Valley came back and beat St. James 27-7.
Okay, that's on the Kansas side. Any more intriguing games from Kansas?
Olathe East leads Free State 19-7.
Okay, yeah. So Brown off the play action being chased, throws it to the sideline. Good catch there by Nate Clemens, a pickup of 10. So, and see, that's the type of thing I think Truman going forward can show some success, is the rolling the pocket and finding their guys on out routes just looks really crisp.
Yeah, Carter Brown is showing he can make those throws. He's not really a pocket type passer. Yeah, he had the one big play staying in the pocket. All of his other passes have been rolling outs for throws. And so I'll expect to see that quite a bit more the rest of the game with the occasional
Sure. Yeah. So they bring a couple safeties down into the box this time. This time rolling to the right, throwing it way deep, wide open, literally nobody around. Oh, and in and out of the hands of Quincy Scott. Just a deflating play. See some of the linemen just so unhappy there. But I think a bigger thing is the center and the Ball State commit, Aaron Porter. He's coming up a little gimpy on his knee, so, and he also, he actually looks like he's holding down towards his ankle or his foot. So, something that Ball State is watching as well. The type of guy that can come in, learn, get better. As for now, you hope he's okay. Yeah, wide open.
Busted coverage for one.
Yeah.
And that hurts. Because that's 6 points.
So 4 high safeties for Liberty. Just a really interesting look. Carter finds his man up around the 40, spins out of one, up around the 50, and he's gone to the 40, down to the 35, to the 30. There was one Blue Jay I didn't see, down inside the 30. Nice play to Nate Clemens. And Clemens made a spin move at the 50, got another 23 yards or so. No flags are down. Nate is, well, I don't know, the white hat's standing a ways back, but Nate up here is saying, wait, there's no flags. That was a big play for Truman. There's no flag. Is there a flag? We see the white hat chatting. There is a flag. It was hidden. Personal foul, face mask on the defense. It benefited Truman for once. It seems like tonight every big play they've had, they've struggled to keep it because of the flags, but instead they will tack on another. This time it was a personal foul face mask, so it'll be half the distance of the goal because they're inside the 30. It'll be about the 13.5-yard line, or should be. Chain gang running down. Didn't know the call. Obviously, they're not up in that huddle, so a first down and 10 from the 14. And if you look at that huddle, there's one kid that's about 4 inches taller than the rest of them. That's David Brack. He's in at offensive line now. Big kid up there. And they also have their man Devron Rivera, the 6'3", 370, playing left guard. So you got a 6'9" at right tackle and a 370 at left guard. Brown takes the snap. Rolls, steps up into the pocket, now has some space, rolls back left, looks for the throw, and knocked down. Good defense. Looking for A.J. Geetson there. He did. I would have thought he would have run that. Yeah. Yeah, he's the type of guy that, at that point, it's free reign. Definitely looked like there was some territory there, but there might have been a guy kind of tracking towards him, I suppose. So he elects for the throw to Geetson and incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10 from the 14. Stands at his own 20, 3-step drop off a belt-high snap, throws it across the middle on the crossing route, complete. Looks like another face mask. There's no flag thrown. Nate Clemens, the recipient again, and Jackson White there on the tackle. It certainly looked like there was maybe a little bit of face mask, but they did not throw the flag there. Maybe it was just across the jersey. But this the 8th play of the drive coming up for Truman. So they've had a lot of really good drives tonight, too. There's just not a lot of points on the board to show for it because, obviously, their points came off a one-play, 42-yard throw. Yeah. A full drive that they're looking like they're going to complete. It's 3rd and 5. 8:45 here to go in the ball game as Demetri Smith stands to the right of Brown. Brown 3-step drop, and he gets flushed out again. This time he has running room. Looks for a block. Touchdown! Truman. Carter Brown did exactly what Nate wanted him to do on the last couple plays. Roll out, find his lane, and then go for the pylon, and that time he did. Touchdown Truman. And that'll make it 33-13. There's a Blue Jay down, so we'll check on him. But a good explosive play there by Carter Brown. The type of guy that, like we said, he can scramble, he can go for it, and so a 10-yard scamper to that front pylon for the touchdown.
Very good drive. Showed some tempo. Decided, hey, let's throw the football. Yeah, I mean, they have not been efficient running the football tonight, and so it's surprising they didn't go to this a little bit sooner.
Sure.
Very, very, very effective.
Yeah. So, and it's an 8-play, 1 minute and 56 seconds of drive. So efficiency, a big play, Obviously, Nate Clemens making that big play on the out route, spun out of it, got a penalty on top of it against Liberty, and then, they were able to punch it in 3 more plays. So, solid drive for Truman. There's some things that they can take away from this, no doubt. Down 33-13, but let's, you want to take a peek at the scoreboard?
A score that I just haven't paid attention to all night. Staley leads 14-7 over Lee Summit.
Over Lee Summit.
14-7.
Yeah. Yeah, shocking to you. Why?
I figured Staley was the type of team that was going to just roll through there.
Sure.
I mean, they're one of the better teams in the city. And so that, I just hadn't even paid any attention to that score tonight, and there it was.
So there you go, a tight game there between Staley and Lee Summit. Josh Dixon on for the extra point. Kick off to the left and no good. Tough hold, and there was also some pressure coming in, so Dixon 1 for 2 on the evening. And that makes it 33-13. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the final 8 minutes and 36 seconds of this ball game. You're watching high school football on 810varsity.com.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
All right, welcome back. 33-13 after a 9-play and 60-yard drive by Truman ends up in a touchdown by Carter Brown on the 9-yard touchdown run. So now Liberty leads Truman 33-13. We got Josh Dixon back to kick off. Sorry, Nate.
Gotta think onside kick's coming.
So Dixon in there. We'll see. He's standing at his own 30. And pooch kick up into the clouds, or lack thereof. Field at the 25. And then a good coverage there by number 44. Not on the roster. So there you go. There's an extra one. So 41 guys.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, they're giving credit to Jason Boatwright. So good coverage there. And so Liberty will come back out onto the field after a 66-yard explosive run on their last drive by Wintrick Williams, who is still in the ball game at 181 yards and over 200 yards from scrimmage. This time battles his way around the left side for 3. And that is Jason Boatwright there on the tackle.
I mean, it's very possible that Wintrick Williams could get 200 tonight.
Yep.
With him still out there.
Yep. He needs 16 more as far as the rushing aspect goes. He does have 25 yards of receptions on 2 receptions and a touchdown, so a couple of touchdowns for him tonight. And now he stands at the back right, gets the handoff off the pulling guard, cuts up around the 40, down to the 45. Ball is out. Looks like Truman's going to recover. Certainly looked like Quincy Scott got on top of it. And the referee does give it to him. So the ball comes out. Quincy Scott comes away with it. And so this Patriot offense going to get another go here with 7:43 here in the game.
That's their +2 in turnover battle tonight.
Winning the turnover battle, stripping the ball, obviously here late. However, some things to really take away here. Down 20, there's still some time left on the clock, but go down and get a score here. There's, a little flutter of the heart over there on the Liberty sideline, you would imagine.
And Mylan Townsend's down here on the sideline, sitting down again.
Yeah, just battling a lot of cramps. Not super hot tonight, but flag flies. Brown across the middle on the post and intercepted. That's Ryan Olivaz on the interception, but the white hat is signaling, hold on a second. Let's see what happened here. Illegal shift on the offense and holding on the offense. Both should be declined, and just like that, an interception by Ryan Olivaz will be giving the ball back to Liberty. So one play turns it back over. You jinxed them. You said they're +2 in turnover battle, Nate.
Not anymore. They're definitely +1.
So that is 5 declined penalties by Liberty tonight. Not like they would take those because it was an interception, but 5 declines, and they already had 10 penalties. So essentially they could have 15 penalties if they took all of them. It's pretty crazy. So now we will get the chance and see if Wintrick Williams will get to that 200-yard mark. He still lacks 16 yards. Here he is around the right side and picks up another 4.5. That'll take us down inside the 7:30 mark here in the game. So if you're Coach Fregon, are you happy with this performance? And obviously it's 3 turnovers, but
No,
not at all.
This is not Liberty football, and this is not. You can't play like this next week if you plan on beating Lee Summit North, Liberty North. You can't play like this next week. Otherwise, you're going to lose back-to-back years to your rival.
Yeah, big rivalry game. Liberty North at Liberty next week. Another 3 yards for Williams.
And so
as he creeps closer.
You got to clean up the penalties, clean up the turnovers, and defensively you got to play better because, Truman's been able to move the football. Like I kind of said, I thought Truman would be able to.
Yeah.
But still, you next week, Liberty North is going to be able to move it at will if Truman's moving it the way they are.
Yep.
Then
another run by Williams. Williams bounces it out to the outside. And I apologize. That is not Williams. That is Martina. And Martina is in the game currently. I wonder if he stays there. Because the thing is that, and I know stats don't necessarily matter to coaches, they might matter to players. Wintrick Williams is at 191 yards on 22 carries.
Well, now they went with somebody different, too.
So another running back in the game. We'll get you that number and name here in just a moment. As we're under 6 minutes here left in the ball game. It is a handoff up the middle. We'll see if we can catch a number here as he comes out of the pile. That is Drake Smith, the senior, the linebacker. He's been primarily playing, but now Martina will be back in there. So 3-yard pickup for him. A couple of fresh faces out there for the Blue Jays. Javion Byers is at the top of the screen for you. A standout for Liberty in basketball. At the top of your screen, wide receiver. Can't imagine he'll get the ball much. Martina around the right side following a couple of blockers. And a good tackle there up around the 45-yard line. That's Nate Clemens there again on the tackle. And we are just over 2 hours and 34 minutes here into this game. It's felt long at times. And then there are times where you're like, oh, my blood's pumping again. Maybe it's not taking that long. Lots of penalties. So to be fair, if there were, about half the penalties, there's probably, 15 minutes trimmed off this game. But there has been some, less than great discipline on both sides at some points. So from the 45-yard line as we trek inside the 5-minute mark at 4:49, Smith drops back to pass. Passing to the sideline, staying in bounds there. and out of bounds around the 39-yard line. That's Caleb Cahill, who's had a pretty solid game. That's going to be his 4th reception now, and he's at 40 yards, and he did have that touchdown earlier on the broken play. So the type of guy that, you don't necessarily expect. You don't see him all over the stat sheet, but the junior having a good night with 4 receptions and 40 yards now. 2nd down and 3 with 4:10 to go here. Another different running back in the backfield. This one's straight up the gut. Wow, look at that speed across the 20, down inside the 15. Wow, what a run. You got a number on that, Nate? I can't quite see who that is. What a play.
39.
Number 39, John Harris, the senior, 5'8", 180. Man, what a burst of speed there.
5'8", 18 pounds. Man.
Yeah, somebody didn't print the extra 0. But, man, how about that burst? What a different change of pace that is. So John Harris in the backfield. Really solid carry there. From the 13-yard line, it's 1st and 10, Blue Jays. Handoff to him again around the left side. This time, good defense by Dimitri Smith. And pick up 4. Okay, so as we go forward here with these teams, Patriots will take on St. Joe Central at St. Joe Central next week. Nate, you said that's a good opportunity for them to get a win.
Yeah, that's a very, very good opportunity for them to come out with hopefully get their first victory of the season. Central finally did get in the end zone tonight. Last check, down 35-7 to Park Hill South.
Mortina across the left side, brought down at the 5.
So, yeah, a very good opportunity for Truman next week.
Okay, and then from there, they will host their rival Chrisman here.
Crispin's tough. William Crispin's going to be very, very difficult. They played really tough with Blue Springs earlier in the year. What did they do tonight? I mean, the score that I have here, it was tied at 0 still with Oak Park, but I don't believe that a whole lot right now.
So 3rd down and 2.
They lost 7-0 tonight.
Okay, lost 7-0.
Chrisman did.
So Mortina brought down at the 3.5. It'll be close to a 1st down. Trying to punch it in are the Blue Jays. So, a tough team, obviously, in Chrisman coming up on the 27th here at Truman. 4th down and 1 for the Blue Jays. And then, obviously, we talked about it with Liberty. They're versus Liberty North next week at home, and then at Lee Summit North the week after that. So a tough road ahead. Or I guess you'd say both teams. Truman with a good chance next week at St. Joe Central. Like we said, keep everything going at 810varsity.com and 810varsity scoreboard. Up the middle, Mortina stuffed at the line.
I don't think he got there.
That was Jason Boatwright that came in, and it looks like they stopped him on 4th down. Good solid stick. Boatwright was there to just meet him with a ton of bricks, felt like.
And if you, something to mention, we can mention, if you want to look at the recap of the night, check out Fox 4 tonight as Chad. He was on last week. Should be on again tonight. Recap the evening of high school football in the Kansas City area. It was a 15-minute long show.
Okay.
Fox 4 is very good. It was very entertaining to look at, see highlights and play of the night. See what their game of the week was that they had there on Fox 4.
Very cool.
So it's a very good opportunity for 810 Varsity to get a little bit of notoriety.
Yeah, a little bit of pub.
And so
yeah, cool.
Check that out tonight at 10:45 if everybody's still awake.
Yep.
10:45 game night.
Very cool.
On Fox 4 here in Kansas City.
All right. So very cool. So they brought out the chains. It was indeed stopped on 4th down. So Truman will get the ball back here with 1:21 in the game. A lot of time taken off the clock by Liberty there on that drive. So we'll get you some quick stats at the conclusion of this game, and then we'll wrap things up here. And we really do appreciate you on this beautiful Friday night, you joining us. Hopefully you're able to enjoy some football in the flesh, but if you weren't, we do appreciate you joining us here on 810varsity.com. Lots of really good games out there tonight. Just jam-packed. Always keep it tuned in. We'll keep having games the rest of the year. And just seems like the 810 reach is just, it's going to continue to get bigger. People enjoy high school football around here, and they love it. So Nate's checking out the scoreboard here. We'll have a little bit of a scoreboard update as we have Truman with the final 121 here in the game.
No, I was just going to kind of look ahead at next week, some of the games to kind of keep an eye on. At least over North Park Hill next week. Hopefully that's where I will end up. Rockbridge is going to be at Lee Summit West. Ray Peck at Belton. Rivalry game there. Let's see. Raytown, Chrisman next week. Green Valley, Platte County.
So some good games here on the Missouri side as well. Obviously, those games coming up next week. Under a minute here. 20-point lead for Liberty. They're going to take care of business here at Truman.
And then on the Kansas side, Miege plays Mill Valley. Blue Valley West, St. James. Lawrence and Gardner-Edgerton. Lawrence is 2-0. Kind of in surprising fashion, they're 2-0.
So Nate Clemens getting a couple of carries here, up around the 20-yard line with 30 seconds left.
That's pretty much it for next week. There are some good games. Be interesting to see what the 8-10 varsity game of the week is going to end up being. I would, if I had to have a vote, I would say Liberty North, Liberty.
Okay.
Both teams. Oh, you got a 3-0 team in Liberty North and a 2-1 team in Liberty now. Both coming in off of nice victories. And so, I mean, I would do that game again. They did it last year, and they had an absolute amazing game.
Yeah.
And this year, it shapes up to be about the same.
The final snap of the game here for Truman. It's Nate Clemens around the right side, and that'll do it here from Truman High School. 33-13 the final score as Liberty advances to 2-1, and Truman will advance to 0-3, headed to St. Joe Central next week. So give you a little quick update here. Liberty ran 59 plays for 440 yards. Time of possession 28 minutes 47 seconds. 41 rushes, 327 yards, and 22 of those and 191 yards and a touchdown is Wintrick Williams. Passing yards 113 yards for Truman tonight. 48 plays, just under 20 minutes of time of possession. 83 rushing yards and 150 passing yards. So, and then obviously the penalties played a big part. 9 penalties, 75 yards officially for Truman. 6 penalties, 60 yards for Liberty. But Liberty comes away victorious here at Truman. And Nate, tonight's game, let's put a bow on it.
Yeah, it kind of turned out to be what we were kind of expecting. Liberty kind of have control from the get-go. Truman showed fight, and I'm very impressed. Coach Pugh, after having a couple rough weeks against Staley and Liberty North, they came out tonight and showed toughness and played well. Showed some life and showed promise going into next week with their game against St. Joe Central.
Yep. And so some statistical leaders tonight. Luke Smith, 11 of 18, 113 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. Wintrick Williams, the third, 22 carries, 191 yards and a touchdown. Caleb Cahill, 4 receptions, 40 yards and a touchdown for Liberty. For Truman, Carter Brown, 10 of 24, 150 yards and a touchdown. Carter Brown, leading rusher, 5 carries, 34 yards and a touchdown. Nate Clemens, leading receiver, 5 receptions, 78 yards for him, and obviously had some big plays down the stretch for them. But for the first time this year, Truman's gotten a double digits. Some positives to take away for Liberty. they got to get ready for their rival next week in Liberty North coming in to their neck of the woods as the Blue Jays will take them on. So, any thoughts on that rivalry game coming up next week?
It's going to be a fun one. Wish it could be on 810varsity.com. Now that I think about it.
Yep.
Can't.
Can't do
Liberty, it won't be able to happen. It's going to be a fun game. Oh my! I'm excited. I'm going to be interested to see how that game goes as I'm doing my game. Hopefully, at least I'm at North Park Hill.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of good games in the area next week.
And so Liberty North currently 11 in the top 25, and Liberty, like we saw tonight, number 15.
Liberty
so very evenly matched.
Liberty North will move into the top 10. They'll end up hopping over Park Hill more than likely, since it looks like they're last check they were going to win.
So no doubt a top 15 matchup happening next week in Liberty as Liberty host Liberty North, should say. So any games on our scoreboard before we want to get out of here? Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Cool. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys joining us here on 810varsity.com. I am Jonathan Plasek. He is Nate Kendall. We do really appreciate it. We know that you have a lot of options watching high school football, but we do appreciate that you chose ours. So from Truman High School, it's 33-13. Liberty gets the win over Truman. We appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. We've been watching high school football on 810varsity.com.